Better to stay in here sometimes, isn't it?
I think she left.
It's turning her on.
She ran out.
All right. Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ralph, you're welcome.
All right. Everyone, that's it. Okay. We had our fun. Done.
Yeah.
Let's finish the news.
Finish the news.
All right. You got nothing else? Good.
We can't go on after
All right. Good. All right. Everybody have a nice weekend. On Monday, what's going to be so great? Nobody's going to remember any of this.
Yes.
That's it. It's over.
You have those pills?
It's the last you'll hear. Done. Done.
Those
Thank
memory
you.
erasing pills?
Thank you, Artie. Thank you, Fred.
Thank
Benji.
you.
Robin. Thank you. That's all. That's all. We're done.
I love all of you.
November 17th, I'll be in Poughkeepsie.
My psychiatrist says I'm the master of putting things behind me and hiding and
not everybody has your
not
skill.
Facing the,
just because you're putting it behind you doesn't mean everybody else
I'm going to
is.
teach you all how to do it.
But I would say that I do love everyone here. Even you, Gary. I love you very much.
I bet you don't love Benji.
I bet he's going to cry if you say it more.
Artie, enjoy your time with
Kara. I hope we can all be happy again.
Let's hope she puts out for you. Since Jessica Hahn's not on this coast. All right. Thank you, everyone. This was a fun day. And that's enough. We're done.
It is.
That's all.
Yeah. Some days you don't know how you're going to walk out of the studio.
I know how I'm walking out.
I've had some weird days, but today's going to be weird.
Yeah.
And I've had those days where you walk down 6th Avenue in a daze, like, what just happened?
Right.
You're upset with yourself. I understand.
I am.
Well, I'm upset with me.
I'm sorry that...
because I want peace here at the station. I like an argument, but, you know.
But as long as it doesn't go too far.
Sure.
As long as it doesn't break the skin.
What is it, Bobby?
You.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, this is Bobby G.
Yes, Bobby.
Hey now, let me tell you something. This has got to be the greatest moment on the show. And I just want to say to Artie, from a Jersey guy calling from New Jersey, Artie, don't get depressed, because this is what Jersey guys do. It's amazing that you haven't walked in with an AK-47 and blown these guys to pieces. Violence was the right response.
Oh, my God.
It's just amazing. I mean, you know, the reason why you haven't done it before is probably because of all the medication and the sugar.
It's true. It's hitting the real Artie.
This is the real Jersey Artie, and this is what we're paying $13 a month for, and this is fantastic radio. And I gotta hand it to Howard, because I'm telling you right now, Howard,
yeah, he's the one to compliment.
You're the only guy that could hold this crew of idiots and nibnicks and moral reprobates together. Now I understand why you get the money you get, because no one else could keep this under control.
I deserve a raise, you're right.
Some odd years.
All right.
You're a genius.
Thank you,
These
Bob.
guys are great.
It's not about me, though.
Just put away the sharp objects and get over it, and Monday's another day.
Right. We're coming in here and doing a great show. Thanks, Bobby.
All right.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah, you're a Jersey guy.
Those are guys.
That was Governor Corzine.
That's who raised me.
What did you throw?
Staff picks of 2007. Howard Stern Show moments of the year.
I am Darth Nihilus.
Tell him to come out of the closet, the elevator.
Now presenting Gary's Picks. Only on Howard 100.
Feelings were hurt, things were said that can never be taken back, but Artie came in with an apology of sorts to Richard and Sal that, to me, stands as one of the most insulting apologies in the history of apologies. I'm not sure if Artie was trying to apologize. If he was, it wasn't a great job, but it was unbelievably entertaining. In his apology, every other line talked about how unfunny Richard and Sal were, and it's just very interesting, and that's why it's one of my favorite moments of the year.
Hey, so anyway, when Artie came in this morning, and of course I was happy to see him, he's back. He said to me something very, very earth-shattering.
Earth-shattering? Already this morning?
Already. And
how could you get in and just shatter the earth?
Well, you'll see. Artie said to me...
That's why I get paid $9 an hour.
Right. That's why Artie says to me, he goes, hey, Howard, I have an announcement to make to those two idiots.
Oh.
Richard and Sal.
Okay.
Well, Howard, related that brilliantly, so it was entertaining.
But, no, what did you say to me exactly?
I just said, look, I've been thinking a lot about my situation with those two guys.
Richard and Sal.
And obviously, it would affect work here in a way, and we got to move on. So I want to say, I thought about something I want to say to them to maybe help patch it up.
Oh. All right.
And I thought it would be better if we did it on the air.
Would you like to do it now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Richard and Sal, I will request that you come in here. Artie feels there is a way to achieve détente.
Or JD, if you want me to.
If their spokesman wants to take over.
Do you want JD or do you want to come in?
As brilliant as that bit was, I don't think you can top it.
All right, here is Richard Christie.
Where's your partner?
Where's your wife?
He might be taking a shit.
Ugh.
Oh, it's
perfect.
All right, why don't I take a break?
Let's go in the bathroom.
And then after the break, Artie is going to address the two of you.
I think I have a way to where we can all move on a little bit.
Sal is definitely taking a shit, they say.
He had a newspaper under his arm, so.
Why does he come to work to take a shit? I know that sounds crazy.
What is it about guys, though, that, like first thing in the morning.
Not this guy.
They got to get that newspaper and go to a public restaurant.
Not a public one. I don't get that. The home field,
that's different.
Newspaper will be all over the floor.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I think your bowels get into a regimen.
They do.
Well, get it to where the regimen is home.
Yeah.
I mean, Sal takes a shit at this time every day, people tell me.
That's what I'm saying. They make it, their outside bathroom is their turf now.
Yeah, I mean, do it at home. Like, you can sort of go before you leave. I mean, you're talking about a difference of 40 minutes when he was home and then he's here.
But maybe he doesn't want his wife to smell it at home.
Oh, yeah, he cares.
His wife? I mean, come on. What are you going to do?
Like, are you careful about when you shit so that Beth won't smell it and stuff?
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, yesterday she was like, I had to take a dump and I had to go out. And she was like sitting and talking to me and stuff, and I go, I don't want her to know I got to take a dump. But
what
was that?
Careful, Fred.
You all right?
I'm leaning back in his chair. Somebody's messing with my chairs today, so I'm still trying to adjust it. Usually it's Artie breaking the chairs around.
Is that any way to start this speech?
I'm sorry, Artie.
Trying to get along.
I was trying to make a joke.
A fat joke? That's
I'm
how
trying
you
to
start.
make a joke. I'm sorry.
What was I saying?
You were talking about...
Yeah, I was talking to Beth yesterday, and then I'm saying, I think I got to go to the bathroom, but I don't want her to know. I'm still at that stage with her that I don't want her to know when I'm going to take a dump. But finally I just said, I think I have to go to the bathroom. You'll have to excuse me. And she cleared out. So that was the first time that ever really happened.
Like you had to disclose.
Yeah, she knew I was taking a dump.
I do use the bathroom.
Do you turn on the shower so she thinks you're in there showering?
No, there was no disguising this.
I used to do that
one. You don't make a lot of noise.
No, but there's a lot of stink that goes down. And I flush. I've timed it so I can flush as the thing's coming out of me.
My house where I grew up, the bedrooms upstairs, it was just me, my sister, and my parents. They were so close together. So I had a little boombox in my room in my teens, and when I was jerking off especially, I put something on. And
Really?
Yeah, because I don't
want music.
I mean, but it was all I would put on like a heavy rock station to make sure it was loud, and
with all at your heaviest weight, which is now, and with all the food you're eating and stuff, you must be taking a lot of dumps, right?
No,
it's funny. I go about once a day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you don't. He's not letting anything go. That's why he looks like that.
That's why he's carrying all that. Well, yeah. Remember, High Pitch Eric at the Craptacular had like a small amount of duty.
Even though he had eaten all that stuff.
Wow.
He's eating's duty.
Maybe that's why I get fat.
You're retaining duty.
I retain shit. Both in my head and in my body. I have a lot of shit retained in my head.
Does Sal know I'm waiting for him?
Sal, are you out there?
I mean, is he reading the whole paper?
Well, if he's in the middle of something.
If the guy's reading the paper every morning for this long, how is he such an imbecile?
He's not reading the paper. He's got black tail in there.
Yeah, he
Part
hides.
of the paper is he reading?
Sal doesn't read the newspaper.
Because I'm dying to hear this, I guess, tete-a-tete between the three of you.
Like, Richard, do you read the newspaper?
I do.
Oh, here's
Believe it or not, I do.
What?
What, did you wash your hands?
What?
Yeah, I did. I made sure I washed my hands. But I'm sorry. I was taking a dump.
What, you get undressed in there?
But
Yeah,
Sal,
I do. I take
a dump at home, man.
Dude, if I have to go, I have to go. I went to the
Yeah, but
bathroom.
it's every day here at the same time. It's like you can train your body.
That's what I do. I do it at the same time. I'm
Yeah.
training my body.
Train your body to do it at home. Really, it's just vile. And you know you don't have any wet naps or anything to wipe that ass with.
What?
It's all full of shit. And
It's not. It's not.
I'm back there.
I'm very clean.
Yeah.
You know, he should really... I was
How do
thinking
you wipe?
about
Do
this.
you wet down a towelette or something?
I usually at home I use wet wipes, but
Yeah, but what do you use here?
I keep going until the paper's clean. I keep going.
Oh.
And I even use my pinky and I go up like a Q-tip up my asshole.
Jesus Christ.
With the toilet paper on it.
Almighty.
You're asking, I'm telling you. That's how clean I am.
Well,
I
I'm
guarantee
You're
you,
going to get hemorrhoids because...
I've had them removed twice already.
Yeah, because you're over-wiping.
See, I think I overwipe. I've never had a hemorrhoid in my life. Maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know.
So far, you're lucky. All right, listen. I'm going to tell you this. Artie is going to now reach out to the two of you. This could either go really well or horribly wrong.
He thinks he has something to say that will resolve or sort of smooth this out.
All right. So, Artie, I turn the microphone over to you.
Thank you.
I guess.
No,
What are you doing?
My ass hurts a little
Of
bit
course
because
it
when you
does.
move fat, you need 10 minutes to settle your muscles and your legs and
10
back.
minutes?
I do.
I bet he didn't wash his
What the hell
hands
did you do
out.
in there?
Yeah, I guarantee he didn't wash his hands.
You want to smell them?
No.
Smell his hands.
And that's
Smell my
coming from El
I washed
Grosso
them.
over there.
Okay, he washed
I
them.
always wash.
How would Richard know the difference between soap and shit?
That's true.
He's allergic. He just had an allergic reaction.
All right, let's
Probably
see
uses
if
shit-covered soap.
Sal said yesterday he's hoping that time could heal, and maybe time has. Let's find out.
Now, I want to say a couple of things spawned this, me doing this, and one was the fact that for the last couple of days, you two have been, maybe the more professional, and you've tried to apologize to me and been nice. And I was, the other day when I was out, I heard a replay of some of the wrap-up show, and poor Jason is getting really beat up. Like, I heard Sal in the news really give him shit, calling him like a nothing and all this stuff, and mad at him, and I know Richard's mad at him, and, Jason's just a guy trying to get by back there, and I feel bad about that. So I don't think Jason did anything wrong. Within how this show works, Jason just did how the show works. He did something, you want to call it good radio, we always fall back on that excuse that Howard makes it into great radio. Well, Jason just added to the great radio. That's all he did. So I want to get him off the hook a little bit.
I agree with that.
Yeah, since the kid's just trying to make a living. But so that's part of it, too. But I clearly can see that we can't move on until we get this resolved. And I'm trying not to be funny about this or make it into a joke, because I think it is a serious thing. There's some shit that Sal said in particular that, I got to be honest with you, I am never going to be able to forget. And I really feel...
What are those things that you can't forget?
Well, I mean,
Do you feel a need to itemize them?
Yeah,
I
do.
I mean, look, it was really, like, when he blew up and was yelling at me like that, I felt I saw a lot of the real guy. Mm-hmm. And those things were, in particular, and going into what he said on the wrap-up show, too, that I'll never have kids because of heroin.
Oh, yes.
If I have kids, all the drugs that are in me, they'll probably look like retards.
I didn't hear that.
I did.
Indirectly, he's writing jokes about my father falling off the roof, which is really kind of low class. And when it comes out of High Pitch Mike, who's just not a funny guy, he's not a charming guy, it just seems like an evil thing. And, whatever. So, and then you talk about attacking people's work. You're going to compare me making a couple of jokey comments that we office figures from something that I worked 4 years on and almost killed me, and something that you know, the night of the fucking screening practically got a standing ovation, and something where you hugged me and said, great job, I'm happy for you, and you're going to do a complete 180 on that. You're going to compare that kind of insult to me saying you repeat a little bit crazy. And I wanted to pull tape of the times I complimented your phone calls. There's a couple times I've said on the air, guys, that was amazing, great stuff, and that just goes unseen, I guess. So that's a big thing. But, you know, look, everything I said that was evil, and there were a lot of them, I think I said in reaction to that. So that's my only way of explaining what I said, all right? Me throwing the shit is where I have to really apologize. Now, to me, because of all the evil shit you said to me, I'll call it even, all right? The stuff I said back to you, the critique on your phone calls, whatever. I'm willing to call it even after all that bullshit. But the thing I have to apologize to you about and to everybody at the show about, especially Howard, who's running a business here, is throwing the stuff at Sal. That was out of line. That was really immature behavior that I thought I'd be beyond. But I got red with anger. And I'm willing to admit that, I mean, sometimes it's like talking to someone who's not that bright, and you don't see why you're aggravating somebody. Like you're comparing a project that I took 5 years out of my life for to a 3-minute movie you made about Robin's twat. You know, it's like I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, are you dumb enough to really? Whether you like it or not is not the issue. Just at least admit that. Look, it was a lot of hard work, harder than when I did on a meats and vegetables movie or whatever the fuck it was. And the fact that I realized I was arguing with a not so bright person made me red with anger.
Well, let me ask you something.
That's what happened.
This doesn't sound very promising.
No. Well,
he's explaining himself.
I'm venting. I'm getting everything out on the floor.
Right, because, I mean, you just called the guy not so bright.
Yeah, well, listen.
I mean, you know.
He's called me a lot of things, too. I'm a fat guy.
Well, I
did a lot of heroin.
Are we still at the name-calling stage is what
I'm trying to get through everything. I don't think we can move on until I get everything out here.
Okay. All right.
All right, so that's when I was really smart.
Wait a minute, he's not done.
We moved on. Just let me speak.
I wanted to, Howard, please stop interrupting.
Oh, thank you, Sal. Go up. All right. You're right. Okay.
All right. So, anyway, that's how I felt back then, is what I'm trying to say. I realize that you guys are smart guys. You're here for a reason, and I've always thought you guys were funny. And Howard knows what he's doing. So, look, I agree it matters.
Well, it does matter. You have to work here. It matters to
them. It's a personal thing with them.
Okay,
they admire you.
And that's a little bit flattering. But the one thing I must apologize for is the throwing of the shit. The other thing that really got to me, is the talking behind my back. Now, I know that you guys are going to say it didn't happen, but the fact of the matter is it did happen. You know, and I thought we had a type of relationship where if I said something that really irked you that much, you could have come to me either on the air or off the air. It's always funny on the air. Or off the air and said, look, Art, I think you're being two-faced. I think what you say is wrong. It gets to us. It hurts our spirit. Please stop doing that. But instead, you decided to have a little powwow with Jason or with other people. Because what happened on the wrap-up show the other day when you complained about this finally on the air where I would hear it, clearly everybody in the office knew what you thought. So there's a reason for that. And that's aggravating to me. I don't like knowing that guys I feel are my friends are talking behind my back. It can't work that way. Because then I just can't trust anything you guys do or say. So that really, really pissed me off that you would go to somebody and say that. Now, that being said, I know you might get mad at Jason again, but you shouldn't, because Jason is just feeding into the whole thing. And by the way, this is a bit that you guys started. Jason's feeding into a bit that you guys began by saying, we have something to say about Artie after weeks of talking behind my back. So if I never, first of all, I only reacted to it because I happened to hear the wrap-up show. If I didn't hear it that day and said to Howard, I want to say something, this still would be lingering on. I said, look, I want to address this. And then it turned into what it did the other day. Mm-hmm. So if you guys can agree to just never talk behind my back like that again, on any level, if I do something that irks you, and you really are hurt by, whether I say it on the air or off the air, and it's going to be on the air, because the one thing I'll say, I might have said some fucked up things, but it was all to your face. You could hear everything I said. It was on the air, and you could address it at that point.
Well, let me ask you something. You said that you really hate Sal. Like, you hate him.
Yeah.
Like, you do not, you hate him. Are you thinking this through, that maybe you don't hate him?
Well, okay, that's a good question. Again, a lot of extreme things were said. Right.
But I got the feeling that you are very sincere when you say you do not like him.
Well, I do have a problem with Sal, that it's going to take time for it to go away.
Okay.
I really do, because I think that a lot of what he said was real, you know, and you know, look, if a guy really feels that way on any level, whether it's as extreme as it sounded or it was a little bit phony, you know, either way, how would you like somebody who thought that about you? I mean, would you be able to work with somebody?
It would be very hard, because
right, so,
he's my teammate.
Exactly. So right. I can't say for sure that I like Sal the way I used to, and I question how much I liked him before.
Well, you question how much you liked him before.
Yeah, because now I really feel that's what he thought. I mean, that's thought out shit.
But wait a minute.
That's detailed stuff. That's not him looking at me and just going, "You're fat" or something. That's really thought out. Like, this is what this did. This is what that did. This is what I think. This is what you said. And you know, Richard, who comes off as this like lovable little hayseed, the walk get treated. I'd quit. Because you guys get treated like shit because you act like shit. I probably get paid, I'm not sure, I probably get paid 10 times as much as you guys. And guess what? You're overpaid and I'm underpaid. That's just how it is. You guys come in here and act like retards. You know, you paint your cocks blue and shove them in each other's face. Come in here and say something funny, and then I'll respect it a little more, and then you can get airtime. In the 7 years I've been working here, only 10 other people besides myself have seen my dick, and they're all hot chicks. Well, some of them used to be hot. You know, so, I mean, why would you expect to be treated anyway but how you're acting? That's so fucking dumb. And the other reason I get paid more than you and I get treated better than you is because, guess what? I'm more talented than you guys are. If I sat back there and made phony phone calls all day, they'd be better than your phony phone calls. And if you guys sat here in my chair all day, you'd probably be asked to leave by 8 o'clock. All right? I took some confidence pills, maybe. I don't know. It's enough of the bullshit. I'm sick of people walking all over me like, Artie should be treated the same way we should be. No, he shouldn't. I shouldn't be treated that way. And maybe I'm close enough to you guys and I look like a big enough of a slob to where you get fooled into thinking, oh, he's on our level. I'm not on your level. I'm smarter, I'm funnier, I'm better at every aspect of this business than you do. All right? Maybe one day you'll get better. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. It doesn't affect me either way. But the fact of the matter is, I get treated better than you for that reason. If you want to get treated like me one day, someday at a show or this show, I don't know, work harder on what you do for a living. What can I tell you? It's not my fucking problem. People will continue to treat me better than you. The same way I treat Howard better than certain people, and Robin and Fred. There's a hierarchy here, absolutely. And I'm probably 5th or 6th down on that totem pole. I deal with other people getting treated better. You guys are going to have to treat people, you know, however you want to treat them. Okay? So, and I'll treat people the way I want to treat them. And if you guys are mad about what I'm saying right now, it's just me being honest. And if you want to get better at it, or if you think you're better than me, prove it to me. You know? I mean, look, what do you want me to tell you? I've done stand-up with you guys on the road, and do I think there's room for improvement? Yeah. Do I think I'm a great stand-up comedian? No. But I'm better than you guys. That I know for a fact. So if I get treated better at a gig, there's a reason for that, too. You know, I don't know how else to put it to you. You guys said some evil, nasty things, and it's wanting me to get really, really honest. And if you guys can agree not to talk behind my back anymore, and if you have a problem, come to my face and say it to me, and I'll agree to try to watch what I say about you guys. Because now I know, believe it or not, I am censoring myself. Whether you know it or not, I have to. Because now I know what really gets to you. And I don't want to get to you that way if it affects your work. Maybe after I've said maybe after what I said today, you don't give a fuck about my opinion anymore. Maybe that's the healthy way to go. But really, that's it. That's the biggest problem I have. I will agree to watch what I say about your work. If I feel it's really getting to you, and if I feel I went over the line on the air, I'll go to you and I'll say, hey, look, man, was that too much? Because I know you're sensitive about it. Maybe that was too much. You know, I'm sorry. I'll agree to that if you agree to what I just said, to those terms. And then if that's the case, I think we can shake hands and move on, because we need to move on. We work too closely here. And, you know, look, what I feel about you as people is I've always liked you guys. You're all right guys. You're good guys. You remind me of myself a lot when I first started working at a show, and you have insecurities that I had then. And guess what? I still have them now. I have all those insecurities. It's hard. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to talk as positive about myself as I just did. But I guess, you know, after 12 years of doing this and making a living at it, I'm easier with maybe patting myself on the back sometimes. You know, in relation to you guys, I'm confident. We're friends. We're still friends. Like, I always thought of you as friends. You know, there's nothing I wouldn't do to help you guys out. I've tried to help you guys out. But after all that, to talk behind my back and be perturbed about it to where it comes to a point on the wrap-up show, that's really, really hurtful to me. It really was. And got
out of hand.
It got out of hand. So when you came in here to discuss that part of it, I was already mad. I said a couple of things you didn't like, and then Sal went off the deep end, and that's where we went into a different level here.
Right.
You know, so I'm really sorry about throwing something that was out of line. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings about your work. You guys are funny motherfuckers. You deserve to be working at a big-time show. You're on the biggest show ever. I mean, Howard was nice enough to say that, you know, I had a career before here, which I did, but nothing like this show. And if I ever leave this show, when I leave this show, wherever I go to will not be this show. And it won't be as great, it won't be as cool, it won't be as funny, and I won't be as great on it. But I know for a fact I'll be able to get a job and make a living in this business. And I'll have the memories of this show as my sort of golden era of my career, you know. And a lot of that has been working with you guys, you know. So, I mean, that's how I really feel. I don't feel I'm better than anybody on like a personal level, but I've earned the right to get treated a little bit better than guys who are rookies. That's all I feel. If you have a problem with that, what can I tell you? You know, because of Howard being so generous and putting me on the show, I've made a name for myself. To the next show I go to, I'm going to be treated even better. You go up in this life, and I'm proud of that. If the bottom falls out, I'll have to go back on the road doing stand-up. What can I tell you? That we all got to make our own way in life. And I'm sorry I in any way aggravated you. I like you guys. And Sal, I would never fuck your wife, even if I had the chance to. The woman has been through hell. And I don't hope your kids get AIDS. They're nice kids. I hope they die of some other disease at about 98, 99 with a nice plate of meatballs in front of them. And that's it. All right, so if you guys can agree to the terms I just said, we can shake. No, of course. Now they get a chance to. Of course, really, I'm glad you gave me that time. I really said everything is off my chest, so I said my piece.
Artie,
thank you for sharing that.
Let's just say though that Artie, you had a long time to think about it.
I did, right.
And you prepared.
If you want to take a day,
you know what you wanted to say. I don't know if they need some time to absorb this. I don't know if it'd be.
Well, let's find out. Richard, Sal,
immediately respond.
I can respond.
You want to respond now?
Yeah. Absolutely.
No,
I don't want to think anything.
Fred says you should think it over.
Can I just say one thing? Sal, I like you. And I respect everything that Artie has just said. And I want to respect what you're going to say. But I think anything that you're going to say right now is going to be said out of, like, anger or some sort of like hostility or hurt
the
feelings.
one thing I'm going to say,
I don't think it's going to be very smart.
Fred, maybe we should give them a little time to think. I could plunk down the phone to hear what some of the callers.
I think that's a better idea. I really
we can take phone calls and then take a break.
This could potentially go.
I want to take some phone calls.
This could take a step in the right direction, or you could just march off the cliff, Sal. I'm worried about you.
I'm telling you.
You say let Sal talk?
Oh, yeah, let him talk.
All right, Sal, go ahead. All right, Gary says let Sal talk.
I am just very, very happy that Artie is giving us the opportunity to develop a friendship again, and I thank you for that. And I made mistakes, and I went over the line, and you've been nothing but a fucking grade A golden guy to us many, many times. And I should have went to you personally, like you said. Should have gone. And said, you know, Artie, this is bothering me, that's bothering me. And you know what? You would have talked to me like you always do. But instead, how things sometimes snowball, and I've, you know, my personal situations, and I started pushing people out, and I don't know what I was doing, but I should have went to you. And should have gone to you, and however my mind got clouded, and however I thought that, I just felt that everything was snowballing on me. And I made the biggest mistake of keeping it all in. And you're right. Like you said things about the kids and the AIDS. I didn't take it personally because I know you as a person didn't mean it. That's why people said, why don't you come retaliate? Why? Artie doesn't mean that. I know that. And at the same time, I want you to understand, Artie, that I don't mean that you're a guy who stinks at everything I said. You don't stink. You've established yourself.
Clearly, Sal, the AIDS thing, of course that's a dumb, stupid, dark joke. The other stuff is more real. That's a bad example.
But the examples that I've been putting in my head in the dark place that I've been, because I put that there because I didn't come to you and talk to you like a friend. So I'm saying after everything you said today, you're absolutely right.
Or even do it on the air to my face before you go by. Because that would make it a bit. It might be funny or whatever. Just say it to me. That's all I have a problem.
But the point is that I'm just thankful that you're giving me the opportunity to develop a friendship again. That's very magnanimous. Is that the word, Howard? Of you.
Just say good.
Very good of you.
Yeah,
Why would you say
magnanimous?
Because you used it with me last week.
Yeah, but magnanimous is a word that I'm familiar with. You're not.
Well, you told me to look it up.
Yeah, but you didn't, obviously.
No, it's when you're providing a good deed for the better of somebody else.
You don't know how to say it.
How do you say it?
Say it.
Magnanimous.
Now you said it.
Now you said it. All right.
And again, you know, you see how you evolve as a person. The first time I heard that word, I had to look it up. It was in a movie. It was about 10 years ago. This is how you get a better vocabulary.
Richard, what about you? We heard from Sal. Before you speak, let's take a few phone calls, and let's hear what's going on in the audience's mind. This is a very, very real moment. And I will plunk down the phone. I'm sure people want to comment. Tim, go ahead.
Hey, now. Good morning, everybody.
Quickly make your comments because Richard has to respond to this.
Wah. I can't believe you're getting all upset and you have the nerve to even comment anything. The fact that somebody's finally told you some shit that maybe you don't want to hear.
Well, you've missed the point of the apology.
Oh, my God. Sir, you sound like a dumb guy. I'm talking about them talking behind my back.
All
right, let's go to Billy. Billy, go ahead. You're on the air.
You guys are a bunch of faggots. This show fucking fag fest. You guys suck. And fucking really, Artie, fucking do your finale. Shoot a big bag of fucking... fucking just go back to fucking radio. You fucking owe us.
All right, Billy, thank you.
Hey,
these guys technically are our bosses. They're paying.
I want to get this guy on the spot on the Killers of Comedy.
All right, Jessica Hahn, you're on the air.
Artie, you sounded really bad. I'm sorry, but that didn't sound like... It sounded like he's got so much more on his chest. He sounded like he just Sal and Richard shot them down so bad, said they're nothing to him, they're not talented, they never will be, that's why he makes more money, and then he says that they're funny. Which is it, Artie? You just said...
I must respond, Jessica. I thought what I heard Artie say...
I said they're not as funny as me.
Right. He said they're funny guys, but they are starting out.
Right.
And that Artie has a body of work that proves that he can make a living in this business.
And Artie has worked hard.
And he's saying, yeah, you know, if you guys are going to go around bitching that I'm treated differently than you, I am treated differently than you because of where I'm at and what my contributions are. And that's the way it goes in business. I mean, not everybody gets, it's not communism. Not everybody gets the same thing. Right. I think that's a legitimate.
I know, but he still sounds, it sounds not, Artie, you got a lot still to say.
No, I really, honestly, Jessica, I mean, look, it's hard for me to say, believe it or not, it's harder for me to say something positive about myself than it is for me to say something negative about myself. And that didn't sound like me, you're right, but guess what? I had to be insanely honest right now to move on. I really feel bad. It's hurtful to me that these guys feel they should be treated like me at a job in show business.
Or that they're your equal.
Yeah, I mean, not even, just equal, not as people, as just like, look, when I was on the Norm show, Norm Macdonald got treated better than me. When I'm on the Howard Stern show, Howard and Fred and Robin and Gary, they get treated better than me. I accept that. And the fact that you guys don't accept it about me is a little hurtful, you know. So I had to say something that might have sounded a little pompous and arrogant. I know that's not my style, but that's what I had to do.
Jessica, is that okay with you?
I guess I just...
All right, well, I'm going to move on because there are plenty of people who want to comment on this. Molly, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, now.
Yeah.
Artie, I think I hear Hallmark banging down your door any day now.
Hallmark?
Yeah, some sort of greeting card, maybe for those sympathy lines or just thinking of you card.
Wow. I mean, you don't feel Artie's openness and sincerity came through?
I completely agree with Artie because I'm in love with him and want to have his love child. But I still thought it was hysterical that was his kind of peace offering.
All right.
No, there was a lot of negative shit there, but I'm trying to be...
right.
Peace offering's a bad word. I'm trying to get everything off my chest.
Dennis, you're on the air in Columbus, Ohio.
Holy shit, you guys put Artie on a diet. You won't shut the fuck up.
It was a little verbose.
Damn.
Didn't have the problem.
Let's remember how this started. What?
I'm whining all day.
All right.
I'm the one whining all day. My God.
I've been whining for the last week.
John, you're on the air in Boston.
Hey, Howard, how are you, pal?
All right, what's happening?
Well, I have to, Artie is absolutely correct. And, you know, I'm one of those people that hate Sal. And you know what? Sal's a big man for saying that. I'll have to give him kudos, even though I can't stand him.
Sal was a big man today.
He stepped
yeah.
out.
And you know what? Artie's a lot more bitter since he's not with Dana. I have to say that, too.
Really?
All right. It's
probably true.
Melrose, Larry Green, what do you want to add to
a lot of this?
Artie's speech was from the heart. Jessica Hahn's insane with her comments. Artie, you're right. Sal and Richard, you're okay, but you're Bush leaguers. Artie's Major League. It's Melrose, Larry Green calling.
All right, thank you. Eric, go ahead, and the reviews are coming in for this very dynamic moment, and then Richard will have his turn. Yes.
Hey, now.
Hey, now.
Hey, Artie is absolutely right. How can you follow Melrose, Larry Green? He said it all. Artie, he's the fucking man, and you know, good for him for saying that to them assholes, because you know what, they needed to hear that. Maybe they'll grow up and work harder. Exactly, Artie. That's the way to go, my man.
All right, Eric. Eric likes your style, Artie, and feels that you were very honest. Jenks, go ahead. You're on the air.
Actually, I just have a question. I think that was great that the both of you did make up, but Robin revealed yesterday that Artie's mother had heard the radio with the fight and everything. And Artie, I was curious, did your mom have anything to do with kind of talking to you about getting back together with these guys?
Is the reason for your speech and getting back with the guys anything to do with your mother? She's a very big role.
No, I will say my mother was upset that I threw something.
Right.
But she heard the whole thing, right?
No, she heard bits and pieces of it.
Oh.
All right. Thank you.
Well, I think you should still box.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. Well, Richard, I'll give you a moment now. We've heard there's been
That would be funny.
All right, well, it was a wide range of response to Artie's very heartfelt speech. Some people felt Artie was a crybaby, a whining bitch. Others feel Artie said what makes sense and had to be said in order for this to move on.
Sal stepped up and accepted.
Now, Sal accepted, Richard. You, of course, have a different brain, I assume, than Sal, and you're allowed to make your own comments on this. After all, you are a part of it. Go ahead.
Artie, I sincerely want to thank you. This last week has been really hard because I feel horrible about what happened. I'm probably going to cry like a bitch, but...
Go ahead.
Let it cry.
I'm sorry.
No, but I felt really bad because Artie gave me a gift that day, and I felt bad about talking about him with Jason, and that he got so upset with me because I consider him
a close friend. And the few times I've hung out with Artie, I've had some great times with him. And I do consider you a friend, Artie, and I'm sorry about what happened. And I swear I will never talk about you again behind your back with anybody. If I'm upset with you, I'll come to you. And I thank you so much for this, Artie, because it really does. It means a lot to me. And I love you. I admire you. I only wish, like, when I see you on Letterman, I think, wow, that's so amazing that you've got to that point and the hard work you've put into it. And I hope that one day, you know, I can maybe get to that point. And I love you, Artie, and I thank you for everything today.
I'll be on Letterman again November 12th.
All right, there was some tears there, Artie.
Listen, thank you. It makes me feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
You know,
I feel bad. I feel bad because this happened last week. I felt really bad about myself.
Richard, you described something yesterday where you hung many pictures of Brad Pitt on your walls. Artie missed that yesterday.
What happened?
You worshipped Brad Pitt, and you and your friend, when you go to the movies together 4 and 5 times and see Brad Pitt movies.
Did Artie hear that whole thing about
I know. No, I did hear that.
Yeah.
Where you're going to start the DVD at the same time.
Brad
Pitt thing, no.
No, they went to see Legends of the Fall 4 times together, and Richard always had posters of Brad Pitt on his walls.
All over his walls.
As a young boy growing up.
He even went to work for Brad Pitt's family.
Richard is dating a hot chick.
You admire Brad Pitt and Artie in the same way.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot of people who admire both.
Well, I admire anybody that's successful and has worked hard. I admire you. I admire Robin, Fred, Benji, Gary, Sal.
Benji.
Everybody.
That's a shocker.
You would cry over Benji if Benji was upset with you.
You feel Benji works hard?
Then it means nothing.
Even Scott the engineer I admire. Because
really?
Everybody, Gary, everybody on this show has worked.
I want to make it clear, I don't admire Benji or Scott the engineer.
How about Ronnie, Richard? Scott, but not Benji.
Do you admire Ronnie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
And everybody that's here,
it means nothing.
Anybody that's worked.
Of course, we all admire each other.
But anybody that's worked hard to be able to make a living doing what they love, I admire.
I agree with you. Ronnie does work hard. Benji and Scott the engineer does work hard.
Everybody here loves what they do. I look up to successful people, and that's why I looked up to people like Brad Pitt.
And there's other people who look up to you guys, I'm sure, for your level of success.
No,
too,
not
right?
really.
So, I mean, I'm sure there are.
Who? Name one.
Bob Levy?
No, not even Bob. All right, listen.
Mike Morse?
Wait a minute,
I don't know.
Artie, how does it make you feel to see Richard crying?
It makes me feel terrible that he's in that, he's got to go through that. But again, guys, I must say, you guys started this whole thing.
I know, and that's why I don't feel terrible
We could have ended this the other day when you came in here, but then, my God, did it get to another level there that I don't feel is all my fault. I feel both of them were very sincere in what they said, and I assume you're agreeing to what I said, and I'm agreeing to what you said, and that's it. So we can agree to move on.
So when you guys see each other in the halls now,
it'll be fine.
Will you be saying hello to Sal, for example?
Yes, I miss those great conversations.
So you will say hello to Sal and Richard, and you will not feel funny about saying, "Hey, Richard, how you doing?"
No. And Richard,
Here's the big question.
Yeah.
Because of this new daytime, we have to see how it goes. Who knows? Things could deteriorate.
Wouldn't it be funny if I do drop dead in a year?
I hope not. But did somebody wish that on you?
No, I'm saying, yeah.
Oh.
It just was like, everybody, you guys will win if I drop dead.
Here is the big question. It is true that you were booked to do a gig.
Yeah.
With Richard Christie in Cleveland, I believe.
December 7th at the State Theater.
Richard informed us yesterday that had been called off, that you were going, but that Richard would not be going along with you.
I have to go.
Of course. Will you be inviting Richard back?
If Richard, and I thought about this too, and I thought, look, first of all, I don't ever take money out of a guy's pocket. I would have forced the money on Richard even if he didn't come. But if Richard wants to, I'd love to have him back on the game.
Oh, Richard, will you be willing to go to Cleveland?
I'd be honored, Artie. Thank you very much.
Right. So how many minutes can we depend on you?
I swear I will do. I can do 10 to 15 minutes.
It's all right.
What do you need, Artie?
I do 2 minutes of jokes, 8 minutes of crying.
But again, the other thing is there's a reason these guys, you talk about why does Levy ask these guys to come, and I've given them shit about their stand-up. They do stand-up, they perform, but the crowd loves them. The audience loves these guys. When they see them, they go nuts, and of course it's fun to... It's a treat for the crowd for them to be there. It's a better show.
Is it fair to say to the people of Cleveland that they will be treated to a reunion, like Van Halen reunion, like this is going to be you and Richard up
December 7th, the State Theater in Cleveland, guys. Get your ticket now. This is going to be...
a reunion. Will you hug Richard on the stage?
Well, I know. Is there a hug?
I'll shower her. Richard... Well, before we get to the group hug, Robin.
Right.
And I would like to hug you, Robin. But the thing is this. Will Sal ever perform with you again? Now, that's a big question. Don't answer too quickly.
Yes, of course.
He will?
Of course.
You're saying to me that Sal will take the stage one day with you again?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you giving him the stage?
Don't we have a gig on the books, do we?
I'm not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure? You don't
know?
You
said yesterday you didn't think you were working with him.
You're that busy?
I don't know. I just don't know of any gig, but if there is, I'll let you know.
How would you not know Cleveland? My wife, do you want to be in Cleveland?
You don't even seem to understand the show. You just ruin everything. You gotta be funny in here. I can't wait for you guys to see this on Howard TV.
Daily shows, classics, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Well, that's gonna be on Howard TV.
The funniest, sexiest, most star-studded network on TV is Howard TV On Demand.
Hey Stern fans, welcome to Fine Time, the show where you, the fans, have the opportunity to ask questions and interact with your favorite Stern Show staffers, whack packers, and celebrity superfans. I'm your host, Rachel Fine. Now, today's guest is a hardcore superfan. He has a shrine that he's built in his house dedicated to the show, and he calls in every day just to kiss Howard's ass. He's also incredibly annoying, has the world's worst toupee, and scored lower on the IQ test than Sal the stockbroker. Now, recently, he was busted trying to portray himself as an employee of the show just so he could book celebrity guests. You should also know that he emailed us at Howard TV asking to be on Fine Time, a request we granted just to get him off our back. Without further delay, here is Bobo.
Hey, what's happening, folks?
Hi, Bobo. How are you today?
Good.
Good.
I'm happy to be in Stern land.
Yeah, I bet. Well, we had some questions that came in for you, so are you ready to address them?
Yes, the best I can.
Fantastic. First question came in from Joseph M. Joseph asks, thinking about it now, do you think you were wrong following Howard to the hospital?
I don't think so, because this is what extreme fans do. We take it to the next level. I didn't hurt anybody. Went up there. Howard was very gracious in spite of everything. Terrific. And I just said, great to meet you. And I left. I didn't hang out, you know, as maybe a stalker would do or anything like that. I actually went up with Howard's parents. And I figured out during the day he said some kind of code word with his family. And I figured out I used it at the desk.
So let me back up. Just for anyone who doesn't know the story, briefly tell us what happened this day.
Okay. I remember it was in the afternoon, late afternoon, and Howard said that he, that his wife Allison at the time was due to have a baby. And being that I lived in the North Shore, I just figured out what hospital it was. And I said, okay, let me take a shot over there. So I went over to this hospital. And lo and behold, as I approached the lobby, I seen Howard's parents. So I started walking up with him, and the guy goes, who are you? I go, I'm Howard Stern's brother. He goes, I never heard that before. I said, he doesn't like to talk about it. He goes, okay. And he was so laxed that they let me up there. I followed right behind his parents. Couldn't believe it. Then when I walked inside, Howard was there standing with his mask on, okay? And who was there as well was Dominic Barbara, another super fan, also a friend, as Gary would say, the show, okay? And Howard was very gracious, you know.
I mean, that may have been out of fear, you don't think?
Yeah, I probably, like I said, but I didn't hang out. I said, thanks, great to meet you, you know. I love the man, you know, so I just want to say that. You know, probably from someone else in another standpoint would probably say, well, he's a stalker, but I'm not a stalker because, you know, I'm a family and stuff. I don't hang around and pursue somebody. I just said hello and left.
I mean, if it had been your situation, your wife in the most intimate moment, bringing a child into the world, and some guy that you don't even know, a friend of a friend who always wanted to meet you, just showed up, I mean, I'd be furious, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I could see that. But at the time, when you're a super fan like I am, you just think you're crazy with the show.
Right.
And that's why people can't understand, Bobo, you do this, do that. Yeah, because I'm not just a fan. I'm a super hardcore fan, consistent. You know what that is? For the last 25 years.
Yeah.
It means calling up, all right? And there's a lot of people out there that were super fans over the years and they disappeared. I'm consistent. Every single day, I'm up on that board up there.
I think that's one thing, and I think that makes some sense, but showing up when someone's wife is delivering their child.
Yeah, well, like I said, what I do today, no.
That's good news.
Yeah.
We should let the cops know that. The next question is from Tracy R. on Facebook. Tracy asks, what is the most important item in your Howard shrine?
Oh, my God. I have so many items. I would say Crucified by the FCC box set. That's very special to me. And the Leroy Neiman painting, you know, copy that I have framed, professional, and I had Howard sign it. That's very special to me. That's up there.
The house is on fire. Those are the things you
Oh, my God. They got to go. Yeah. In fact, I have an access door that was built so that everything comes out of the shrine and, you know.
Just for the shrine.
Oh, yeah.
Next question is from Brandon S. Brandon asks, Bobo, why do you think you did so badly on the IQ test? If you could take it again, do you believe that you could improve your score?
I think maybe, you know, I wasn't really good at tests. You know, I'm good at what I do. You know, like I'm a safety instructor. I'm very good at that. And I made my way through life, you know, to retire, you know, at 56. And a lot of people can't say they can do that. And it comes to tests, I'm just not good at tests. You know what I mean?
Whoa, Jesus. It's Bobo. Wow.
I'm in bad shape.
What's going on? Talk to us.
Man, Howard, I can't believe it.
Doctor says you're average intelligence.
Wow. Average intelligence?
Yeah, 87.
The low end, but average.
You lost to Jeff the Drunk by only 2 points.
Oh, come on, man. Wow. Oh, no.
Those blocks were mind-boggling. I couldn't stand it. I wanted to throw them against the wall.
Okay.
So.
Next question comes from Peter M. Peter asks, will you let Dog the Bounty Hunter taser you on Howard's show for beating a total tool bag?
Probably 12 volts. I don't know. I mean, I would love to meet him, confront them, because I have a couple of issues in what they said.
What is the issue?
The one first issue is that I said I worked on the show. I never said I worked on the show. They should have, A, checked their sources, see who Bobo is. Who am I? Okay? And B, the fact of the matter is, if they said I was on the email saying that I worked on the show, I said, no, all I'm guilty of is that we would love to have you here.
I think the we is the problem.
Right. They read into that as I'm working on the show. Right. And I'm not denying that.
Okay.
But that's not the same thing as I work on the show.
They should have been more skeptical.
Exactly. And I kept directing them to Gary. He's the executive producer and assistant Will. You got to go through them. Because she started going into logistics of it and says, you know, about money, you know, we usually get paid to come down. I said, you got to speak to Gary about that.
Next question is from Brandon S. Brandon asks, why do you call the show while sitting in your car next to a dock?
Okay. It gives me a feeling of peace, tranquility. You know, I have a lot going on. I'm busy, you know, and I got a 5-year-old. And it kind of mellows me out, okay? And by listening to the show, I start to think of things to write for the show that I want to, you know, questions I want to ask.
Do you consider yourself a writer for the show?
Not a writer, not at all. I mean writing questions down. There's so much for me to, you know, like I'll think about something as I'm driving and I'll just pull to the side of the road and say, oh yeah, I want to ask him about that. Okay. So that's how I get my questions.
You meditate by the water.
There you go.
Next question is from Michael W. Michael asks, Bobo, when you don't get through to Howard on any given day, do you get legitimately depressed?
I get really bummed out. I go into a dark place, yes. It's really tough for me. And I go to therapy maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week, you know, for other issues. But basically I always bring this up, and the therapist says, well, why is that so meaning to you? I said, you don't know unless you know the show. They're like a second family. I love the show. I'm insane with it. And it's like, if you don't get picked up, I know it's his show. I'm not delusional, but it just brings you down. I can't help it.
But to put your worth on whether someone picks up a call for you, that's a lot of pressure to put on outside of yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of pressure, and my wife understands it. She knows if it's a bad day just by looking at my face.
Wow. Next question is from Mickey M. Mickey asks, Bobo, do your friends and family treat you differently after they found out your low IQ?
I hid the fact for most of the family, okay? Some neighbors know, but I thought I would have to move, okay? But basically, I don't... They know, what I do in my private life and how good I am at doing it, and what I accomplished in my lifetime, and to retire, to work 38 years at a place, and be consistent and make good money doing it.
Yeah.
I have no problems, and I live near the water, so.
There you go. Next question is from Mike W. He asks, Bobo, how much time do you spend scribbling your questions down to S to Howard every day?
Probably 1 to 3 hours, depending. It varies.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, sporadically throughout the day.
It seems like when you call in, it's generally just to say Howard TV's great or you love Beth. It doesn't seem like 3 hours worth of content that you've accumulated.
Yeah, but it's just, you know what it is? It's the thinking of what I want to say and how I want to say it, my own way.
Okay.
Kind
of like writing the letter that never gets sent, maybe?
Yeah, just, think about different thoughts of the show. And sometimes it takes time to what I want to say.
It's like journaling. You're journaling. Next question from Paula S. Paula asks, how did you get turned on to Howard's show?
Oh, my God, I'll tell you exactly. It was the mid to late 80s, okay? I was in my office at work and with my bosses, and somebody had him on. And I started listening, and that when at that time, he was cutting the piano wires of Soupy Sales. I said, oh my God, what's going on here? This is so interesting. And when I heard this, I said, it's like the movie. I want to stand by the radio and see what he's going to do next, or say what he's going to say next. And I got so hooked from then on. I had to get it. I actually used to pay people. This is true. It's going to get out now, first time. I used to pay people to tape for me, because in those days you didn't have, the replays and everything. So I would pay people just to, tape the show.
How much did you pay them?
$10, $15, $20, whatever it was,
It's an investment.
Yeah.
Next question is from William M. William asks, what is your favorite Stern Show memory?
Favorite Stern Show memory? God, I have so many of them. Stern Show memory. Well, okay. I love the birthday shows. Being at one, the Hammerstein Ballroom is the last one I was at. Yeah, that was great. But I just used to love the birthday shows, people coming on and stuff, and just listening to it. I used to love that. All the different things like the Wheel of Sex, all kinds of stuff, and they have people come on there and do this various stuff, or the antics of Sal and Richard. Love when they do that stuff. Of course, Billy Joel is my favorite. Him musically, to be up there is phenomenal. There's so much stuff that, just can't put it to one.
Very true. I want to thank Bobo for taking the time to sit down with us and answer all the questions that you, the fans, submitted. Keep sending your questions in. You can tweet them, you can Facebook them, you can email us, you can even send a video submission and be a part of the show. Remember, this is your show, so don't screw it up. Until next time, I'm Rachel Fine, and I hope you had a fine time. I had a fine time with you, Bobo.
Me too.
Any last-minute messages you want to give to would-be stalkers or mega fans?
Oh, yeah. Being a super fan, don't knock the super fan, extreme fans. We take it to the next level, fans. Okay? That's what we do. So, hope you enjoy my calls. If not, F you.
F you.
Okay.
You don't even seem to understand the show. You just ruin everything. You got to be funny in here. I can't wait for you guys to see this on Howard TV.
Daily shows, classics, and exclusive behind-the-scenes access.
Well, that's going to be on Howard TV.
The funniest, sexiest, most star-studded network on TV is Howard TV On Demand.
Hey Stern fans, welcome to Fine Time, the show where you, the fans, have the opportunity to ask questions and interact with your favorite Stern Show staffers, whack packers, and celebrity superfans. I'm your host, Rachel Fine. Now, today's guest is a hardcore superfan. He has a shrine that he's built in his house dedicated to the show, and he calls in every day just to kiss Howard's ass. He's also incredibly annoying, has the world's worst toupee, and scored lower on the IQ test than Sal the stockbroker. Now, recently, he was busted trying to portray himself as an employee of the show just so he could book celebrity guests. You should also know that he emailed us at Howard TV asking to be on Fine Time, a request we granted just to get him off our back. Without further delay, here is Bobo.
Hey, what's happening, folks?
Hi, Bobo. How are you today?
Good.
Good.
I'm happy to be in Stern land.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, we had some questions that came in for you, so are you ready to address them?
Yes, the best I can.
Fantastic. First question came in from Joseph M. Joseph asks, thinking about it now, do you think you were wrong following Howard to the hospital?
I don't think so, because this is what extreme fans do. We take it to the next level. I went up there. Howard was very gracious in spite of everything. Terrific. And I just said, great to meet you. And I left. I didn't hang out, you know, as maybe a stalker would do or anything like that. I actually went up with Howard's parents. And I figured out during the day he said some kind of code word with his family. And I figured out I used it at the desk.
So let me back up. Just for anyone who doesn't know the story, briefly tell us what happened this day.
Okay. I remember it was in the afternoon, late afternoon, and Howard said that he, that his wife Allison at the time was due to have a baby. And being that I lived in the North Shore, I just figured out what hospital it was. And I said, okay, let me take a shot over there. So I went over to this hospital. And lo and behold, as I approached the lobby, I seen Howard's parents. So I started walking up with him, and the guy goes, who are you? I go, I'm Howard Stern's brother. He goes, I never heard that before. I said, he doesn't like to talk about it. He goes, okay. And he was so laxed that they let me up there. I followed right behind his parents. Couldn't believe it. Then when I walked inside, Howard was there standing with his mask on, okay? And who was there as well was Dominic Barbara, another super fan, also a friend, as Gary would say, the show. Okay, and Howard was very gracious, you know.
I mean, that may have been out of fear, you don't think?
Yeah, I probably, like I said, but I didn't hang out. I said, thanks, great to meet you, you know, I love the man, you know, so I just want to say that, you know, probably from someone else in another standpoint would probably say, well, he's a stalker, but I'm not a stalker because, you know, I'm a family and stuff. I don't hang around and pursue somebody. I just said hello and left.
I mean, if it had been your situation, your wife in the most intimate moment, bringing a child into the world, and some guy that you don't even know, a friend of a friend who always wanted to meet you, just showed up, I mean, I'd be furious, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I could see that. But at the time, when you're a super fan like I am, you just think you're crazy with the show.
Right.
And that's why people can't understand, Bobo, you do this, do that. Yeah, because I'm not just a fan. I'm a super hardcore fan, consistent. You know what that is? For the last 25 years.
Yeah.
That means calling up, all right? And there's a lot of people out there that were super fans over the years, and they disappeared. I'm consistent. Every single day, I'm up on that board up there.
I think that's one thing, and I think that makes some sense, but showing up when someone's wife is delivering their child.
Yeah, well, like I said, what I do today, no.
That's good news.
Yeah.
We should let the cops know that. The next question is from Tracy R. on Facebook. Tracy asks, what is the most important item in your Howard shrine?
Oh, my God. I have so many items. I would say Crucified by the FCC box set. That's very special to me. And the Leroy Neiman painting, copy that I have framed, professional, and I had Howard sign it. That's very special to me. That's up there.
The house is on fire. Those are the things you
Oh, my
grab
God.
and
They
run
got to
out.
go. Yeah. In fact, I have an access door that was built so that everything comes out of the shrine and, you know.
Just for the shrine.
Oh, yeah.
Next question is from Brandon S. Brandon asks, Bobo, why do you think you did so badly on the IQ test? If you could take it again, do you believe that you could improve your score?
I think maybe, I wasn't really good at tests. I'm good at what I do. Like I'm a safety instructor. I'm very good at that. And I made my way through life, to retire, at 56. And a lot of people can't say they can do that. And it comes to tests, I'm just not good at tests. You know what I mean?
Jesus! It's Bobo. Wow!
I'm in bad shape.
What's going on? Talk to us.
Oh man, Howard, I can't believe it.
Doctor says you're average intelligence.
Wow. Average intelligence.
Yeah, 87.
The low end, but average.
You lost to Jeff the Drunk by only 2 points.
Oh, come on, man. Wow. Oh, no.
Those blocks were mind-boggling. I couldn't stand it. I wanted to throw them against the wall.
Okay.
So.
Next question comes from Peter M. Peter asks, will you let Dog the Bounty Hunter taser you on Howard's show for beating a total tool bag?
Probably 12 volts. I don't know. I mean, I would love to meet them, confront them, because I have a couple of issues in what they said.
What is the issue?
The one first issue is that I said I worked on the show. I never said I worked on the show. They should have, A, checked their sources to see who Bobo is. Who am I? Okay? And B, the fact of the matter is, if they said I was on the email saying that I worked on the show, I said, no, all I'm guilty of is that we would love to have you here.
I think the we is the problem.
Right. They read into that as I'm working on the show. Right. And I'm not denying that.
Okay.
But that's not the same thing as I work on the show.
They should have been more skeptical.
Exactly. And I kept directing them to Gary. He's the executive producer and assistant Will. You got to go through them. Because she started going into logistics of it and says, about money, we usually get paid to come down. I said, you got to speak to Gary about that.
Next question is from Brandon S. Brandon asks, why do you call the show while sitting in your car next to a dock?
Okay. It gives me a feeling of peace, tranquility. I have a lot going on. I'm busy, and I got a 5-year-old. And it kind of mellows me out. Okay, and by listening to the show, I start to think of things to write for the show that I want to, questions I want to ask.
Do you consider yourself a writer for the show?
Not a writer, not at all. I mean writing questions down. There's so much for me to, I'll think about something as I'm driving, and I'll just pull to the side of the road and say, oh yeah, I want to ask him about that. Okay. So that's how I get my questions.
You meditate by the water.
There you go.
Next question is from Michael W. Michael asks, Bobo, when you don't get through to Howard on any given day, do you get legitimately depressed?
I get really bummed out. I go into a dark place, yes. It's really tough for me. And I go to therapy maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week, for other issues. But basically, I always bring this up. And, the therapist says, well, why is that so meaning to you? I said, you don't know unless you know the show. They're like a second family. I love the show. I'm insane with it. And it's like, if you don't get picked up, I know it's his show. I'm not delusional. But it just brings you down. I can't help it.
But to put your worth on whether someone picks up a call for you, that's a lot of pressure to put on outside of yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of pressure, and my wife understands it. She knows if it's a bad day just by looking at my face.
Wow. Next question is from Mickey M. Mickey asks, Bobo, do your friends and family treat you differently after they found out your low IQ?
I hid the fact for most of the family, okay? Some neighbors know, but I thought I would have to move, okay? But basically, I don't, they know, what I do in my private life and how good I am at doing it. And what I accomplished in my lifetime. And to retire, to work 38 years at a place and be consistent and make good money doing it.
Yeah.
I have no problems, and I live near the water, so.
There you go. Next question is from Mike W. He asks, Bobo, how much time do you spend scribbling your questions down to ask to Howard every day?
Probably 1 to 3 hours, depending, it varies.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, sporadically throughout the day.
It seems like when you call in, it's generally just to say Howard TV's great or you love Beth. It doesn't seem like 3 hours worth of content that you've accumulated.
Yeah, but it's just, you know what it is? It's the thinking of what I want to say and how I want to say it, my own way.
Okay.
Kind
of like writing the letter that never gets sent, maybe?
Yeah, just, think about different thoughts of the show. And sometimes it takes time to what I want to say.
It's like journaling. You're journaling. Next question from Paula S. Paula asks, how did you get turned on to Howard's show?
Oh, my God, I'll tell you exactly. It was the mid to late 80s, okay? I was in my office at work and with my bosses, and somebody had him on. And I started listening, and that one, at that time, he was cutting the piano wires of Soupy Sales. I said, oh my God, what's going on here? This is so interesting. And when I heard this, I said, it's like the movie. I want to stand by the radio and see what he's going to do next, or say what he's going to say next. And I got so hooked from then on. I had to get it. I actually used to pay people. This is true. It's going to get out now, first time. I used to pay people to tape for me. because in those days you didn't have, the replays and everything. So I would tape people, pay people just to, tape the show.
How much did you pay them?
$10, $15, $20, whatever it was,
It's an investment.
Yeah.
Next question is from William M. William asks, what is your favorite Stern Show memory?
Favorite Stern Show memory? God, I have so many of them. Stern Show memory. Well, okay. I love the birthday shows. Being at one, the Hammerstein Ballroom is the last one I was at. Yeah, that was great. But I just used to love the birthday shows, people coming on and stuff and just listening to it. I used to love that. All the different things like the Wheel of Sex, all kinds of stuff, and they have people come on there and do this various stuff, all the antics of Sal and Richard. Love when they do that stuff. Of course, Billy Joel was my favorite. Him musically, to be up there is phenomenal. There's so much stuff that, just can't put it to one.
Very true. I want to thank Bobo for taking the time to sit down with us and answer all the questions that you, the fans, submitted. Keep sending your questions in. You can tweet them, you can Facebook them, you can email us, you can even send a video submission and be a part of the show. Remember, this is your show, so don't screw it up. Until next time, I'm Rachel Fine, and I hope you had a fine time. I had a fine time with you, Bobo.
Me too.
Any last-minute messages you want to give to would-be stalkers or mega fans?
Oh, yeah. Being a super fan, don't knock the super fan, extreme fans. We take it to the next level, fans. Okay? That's what we do. So, hope you enjoy my calls. If not, F you.
F you.
Okay.
I do want to mention howardstern.com. Jason's been putting a lot of content up there. I particularly enjoyed this weekend Behind the Block Party with Stephanie, Ronnie's girlfriend, complete with pictures of Ronnie and the block party.
Oh, yeah?
That's a feature on howardstern.com. All right, good night, everybody. .com. Then there's like Ronnie's poem from Richie's wedding is up there, Walt Whitlis. And
really, we should have. Did we ever get a handwriting analysis?
Oh, we did. I think.
We did, because his handwriting is outrageous.
Gary, what was the outcome?
We're working on it. We have a guy, and we're working on getting him in.
Yeah. Wait till he comes in, because what this guy had to say was really disturbing.
Well, that handwriting is disturbing. I say you can tell a lot about a person by the way they write.
Yeah, take a look at Ronnie's handwriting on howardstern.com right now. And you tell me if it doesn't look like the letter a kidnapper writes to the family. I told you when I hired Ronnie.
Ronnie writes like a kidnapper.
I said, Ronnie, I get this. Ronnie had driven me to Hartford. He wasn't I didn't have a regular driver. Back in those days, no one was looking to drive me, and nor was any radio company willing to pay me to do that. Anyway, he gave me a ride to Hartford. I was doing a TV show. Look at that fucking handwriting.
It's scary.
Yeah. All right. I was doing this TV show where it was a stand-up comedy special where I was the host. It was in Hartford, and he drove me from New York to Hartford. And afterwards, I go, "Hey, he's a pretty good dude, this Ronnie. I liked him." And NBC decided to give me a driver and a car. And so, or was it a K-Rock? I don't even remember. Was that K-Rock or NBC?
No, he was still in NBC.
NBC,
really?
Right? Yeah.
He got fired right after that.
Right.
Oh.
And so, when I got the go-ahead to have a driver...
You remember this guy?
No. He I must have... I don't know, but Ronnie had written me a note to my home. He dropped it off at my home.
No, I didn't.
Where did he come into?
To Don's office.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. And what happened? Here's what happened.
No, you wrote me some kind of note at home that said, basically, hey, I love driving you or something. No, one of those things.
No, I actually, what happened was, the first part of it that happened when we spent the whole day together.
Right.
And we wound up in that guy's house, remember? Because it was supposed to be, you were supposed to do this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was a hurry up and wait thing like everything else.
Yeah, we had to wait at some guy's house. I do remember that.
Some general manager at a radio station.
Yeah.
And it was me, you, and Fred. And Fred's, we got to talking a lot. Me and Fred.
Oh, yeah, Fred was there, too.
I think it was the TV station guy?
Yeah, it was the guy who owned the television station.
Yeah. We wound up at his house, sitting in his living room.
Yeah, in the woods. I remember that. It was a kind of a cool cabin-looking thing.
Yeah, so... I spent a lot of time with Fred also, talking to him, and I just gave
two loons.
Yeah, and I gave him
finding each other.
I gave him my business card, and I said, hey, if anything ever comes up, give me a call.
Yeah, but there was some note that you wrote.
I wrote a letter to you, saying that I had been with you, and I said it was great, and if you ever need service in the future.
Well, this letter...
Oh, stop it. It wasn't written in crayon.
Well, this letter was written in the same handwriting that Ronnie... You'll look on howardstern.com at Ronnie's poem.
Listen.
You ever want to see the Lindbergh baby again?
Dude, I have a really shit handwriting, okay?
I mean, at first I thought, okay, someone's taking my kid, and they're holding him for ransom.
Oh, stop it!
All right, how much do they want?
Put $50,000 in a bag under the bench by the number.
Listen, I brought two of your kids home from the hospital.
I know you did.
I didn't kidnap anybody.
I know.
Calm down.
Said you're not even understanding the joke.
I understand exactly what you're saying. What
I'm not saying you are a kidnapper.
Yeah.
I'm saying
okay.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at this thing, and I remember saying to my agent, I go, listen, the guy, he seemed like a nice guy, but look at his fucking handwriting. And my agent looked at me and goes, I don't think you can hire this guy. I said, maybe he got out of jail. I don't know if he went to school. It's like the block lettering of a fifth grader. Not even.
And it changes sizes and runs. It's very, very strange.
Can you make it? Hey, Gary, even that handwriting guy, what was he saying? Because I know it was sort of a preliminary discussion, but...
Hold on, let me find it. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, you got to hear what this guy had to say about Ronnie's personality based on the handwriting.
Do I care what he
Let me see that handwriting.
Well, you never care about anything.
No, I don't care.
Look at it. Look, like every letter is like look at the Y. It's all...
I wrote it big like that, and here's the reason, okay?
Why'd you write my letter big like that?
I didn't write it like that.
You kind of did.
No, I didn't.
I'm telling you.
No, I wrote the letter in regular letters, but it was printed because I have the worst fucking script handwriting there ever is. Me and my mother have the worst, had the worst handwriting ever.
Well, anyway.
Like it's in the family.
Yeah, exactly.
It's inherited.
Yeah.
You can't change it. So anyway, I look at this thing and I said to my agent, there's no fucking way we can hire this guy. He's obviously either deranged or unstable.
Oh, stop it.
I'm telling you, this was the discussion, I swear on my life.
Yeah.
I was nervous hiring a guy with handwriting like this. Oh, here's what the expert said. I do handwriting analysis. I see many red flags in Ronnie's handwritten wedding poem. Yeah. The biggest flag is in the heading. The shape of the letter Y, yes, in the word by, has what is called a felon's claw. Because the lower part of the Y has a claw-like shape. People that make a felon's claw will pretend to have your best interests at heart, but will eventually stab you in the back.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
As soon as someone treats them nicely, they turn on them by doing something detestable. The last person I knew that used a felon's claw was my sister's ex-boyfriend. He ended up emptying a gun into his new girlfriend, killing her in front of her 17-year-old daughter.
Wow.
There are many other red flags with the sizing, spacing, margins, and pressure of his handwriting. Yeah, look how hard he presses down.
Yeah.
Presses down, it's a magic marker.
He writes angry.
Yeah. Howard, be careful.
I write angry. Yeah, okay.
It's only a matter of time before Ronnie turns on you in a dangerous way.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah.
Guy's an expert.
26 years, man. I guess you better watch out.
You are nuts.
I should have shot you a long time ago.
You're overdue.
Well,
you're way overdue, man.
Well, anyway, so my agent had a talk with Ronnie on the phone. He says, the guy's got a reasonable price because a lot of people were trying to milk me because they thought I had a ton of dough.
No, he actually called me into his office.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And So, and, you know.
He wanted to look you over.
I looked at everybody's pricing, and I said, you know what? Money rules over crazy. I'm going to go with the guy who's reasonably priced. And that's how Ronnie got his job.
There you go.
All right, thank you, Ron. Governor Ronnie. What is it, whatever your name is?
Gary, there's one other thing going on with Ronnie that Jason brought to my attention. He wanted me to talk about. So you know the guys are doing a show, Will and Jason do a show called The Back Office Show?
Yeah.
So they did the show last week, and I guess one of their segments is the overlooked news story of the week.
Right.
And the overlooked news story of the week was that Ronnie's girlfriend wants to get married. And she's got a plan and even a date. So I guess both Ronnie and her called into the show, but Ronnie says...
No, she didn't call in. I called.
You called in.
Yeah.
Ronnie says he's not getting married.
Every kind of conversation we've ever had, you told me she doesn't want to get married.
No, here's what happened, okay?
Go ahead, dude.
She was drunk, okay?
Yeah, right.
And...
That's the only way you could want to marry Ronnie.
Exactly. First of all, I love her to death. Let's get that straight. She's great, and we're having a great time.
So if you love her, give her what she wants.
And we're traveling, and we're having fun, and it's awesome. So she caught the bouquet at the wedding.
Right.
When Rachel threw the bouquet.
Right.
So, of course, Lieberman goes over to interview her after she catches the bouquet, but he's so drunk. He can't even. That's when JD had to take over the interview.
Yeah.
Okay. So she said she was planning this big party in May this coming May.
Right.
And that's for her birthday.
Right.
So I'm helping her do it, but it's not a wedding; it's her birthday party.
Yeah. Well, dude, look at it this way.
But what she wanted as a gift.
No, she's never. Listen, we've talked about this numerous times.
But she wants to get married.
No, she doesn't.
Dude. She said it. Even if she was drunk, she said she wants to.
All right.
What is it, Jason?
But we talked about it, and it's not happening. She knows that.
Why not, though?
Because I'm not ready for anything like that. I don't know. Maybe.
When are you going to be ready?
Never.
Dude, you don't have that many years left.
Listen, I know. Whatever. That's what I keep trying to tell her.
Yeah, but why not marry her just to protect her?
I keep trying to tell her that.
But what about to protect her financially? In other words, so that she feels like she's your wife and she can,
I could do that anyway without getting married.
Yeah?
You know.
How do you do that?
With a will.
Yeah, but you know that shit's up. Well, no, who's going to contest your will? You got to write it in crayon.
My millions of dollars. You know?
Not millions, but also like if there's any sort of benefit or any kind of like your home or something, then it would be guaranteed to her.
But even in the case that, God forbid, Ronnie gets sick.
Right.
She couldn't go visit him in intensive care.
Would you want to visit Ronnie in intensive care?
No, but you know.
But that's true. If you're really in love with her. Something to think about.
Yeah, I know.
You won't make an honest woman out of her?
I don't know.
I mean, she's certainly proven she's
Not right
devoted.
now.
How many years you been with her now?
Over 5.
Wow. All right.
We'll see.
You know, he is the catch of the century. I've seen these women throw themselves at Ronnie.
No, he is a century.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Robin.
No, he's the catch.
You're not far behind.
He's the.
Fuck some hoes.
You're not far behind.
You got that right. She's catching up to me real quick.
Right.
I'll never catch her.
She'll never give up to Dickie.
Yeah, you got that right.
Right. Well, all right, Ronnie. A lot of controversy swirling around that.
No controversy.
Right.
I called in and I explained the whole situation to
I would love to
Jason.
hear that.
I like Jason's show. It's pretty cool, actually.
That's why I heard good things about it.
Yeah,
a lot of people like it.
A lot of cool shit, man. That you.
Are you? Someone told me a rumor you're writing another poem.
Yeah. I worked on it over the weekend.
Yeah. What's this one about?
What's the new inspiration?
It's. I don't have a real title for it yet. I'm trying to figure it out. It's about. It's kind of like the show in the hallway type thing.
Yeah.
What goes on out there in the hall.
Would you ever publish a book of your poetry?
Yeah, in crayon.
In Ronnie's
gotta
handwriting.
be in his hand.
Yeah, I'm working on it. They actually,
I'd buy that.
Fred asked me to work on another poem. You know,
Well, it is autumn.
he took. I'm not doing autumn.
Oh, sorry.
He already wrote winter.
It's about the.
But he's got 3 other seasons.
It's kind of about the show.
Ooh.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I like when you write about the show.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, thank you. There he is, Ronnie the limo driver. He says no marriage for him.
Not right now, anyway.
Right. Eric, the actor's on the phone, but it's getting fatiguing. He's like...
What does he want?
I feel bad not picking him up every time, but I can't pick him... Eric, every time I go to the phone, you're there. It's like, and then if I don't pick up, I get all these emails. You don't pick up my phone. And... Eric, you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm calling because of the fact that you shut me down last week when I was trying to request something.
Yeah, I know. It's just sometimes it takes so long, you know. Like sometimes I have time to talk to you, but sometimes I don't. And you don't seem to get that I'm doing a show and I have a pace to the show. And I don't know. It's just difficult with you.
It would take a fucking retard not to realize that you're doing a show. I realize you're doing the show, jackass.
No, you don't, because then you write letters that you know, if I keep you on for 5 minutes, you're like, I only got 5 minutes and I had many things to say. You don't get that I do a show. So then you are a jackass.
No, I get it.
We sound
then
like
why are you upset if you get it?
Because I get constantly asked by people on Twitter and on Facebook, have you called in today? People want to hear me on regardless if you think they do or not.
Yeah, but Twitter and Facebook, I don't care what people say on there. They're just...
They're your fans, you idiot.
Yeah, but I don't do the show by the 5 people who like you. Why am I explaining myself to him? How would he ever understand? When he gets a show to do, he does the world's worst show. Anyway, what can I do for you, Eric?
This weekend, this upcoming weekend, your guest for tomorrow is going to be a part of the TNA pay-per-view in Phoenix, Arizona.
Right.
I would like to be there at that pay-per-view, and I would have liked to have had Howard TV cover it, me being there. And I would have liked to have interviewed the wrestlers and the female and male wrestlers.
I've explained to Eric, I've explained to you before, some things we cover you doing, and some we don't. Like when we got you that TV show that you acted in, we covered that. One of your worst appearances, it's usually when you're interviewing people. You don't ask controversial questions. You don't
even ask interesting questions.
Yeah, you don't. When we write outrageous questions about people's sex lives and stuff, you won't ask them. It's boring, and we can't use the material, and it's too much for our budget to go out and cover you if it's going to be that bad. I've explained that. You're not willing to ask questions that are interesting. It's basically an opportunity for you to hang out with wrestlers that you enjoy.
Right, to get to meet people you admire.
Well,
that's not very entertaining for us.
Yeah, and you sit there and go, I love you.
And then you give them a list of all the movies you've seen them in.
Right. I mean, how many times have I explained this?
Can I make another point, too?
Yeah.
Like, you want to be our correspondent, right? So a correspondent, we send to things that we think they should go to. You don't want to go to anything we want to send you to, but only the things you want to go to.
That's a good point. We need a guy who's going to get in there and ask, funny questions. And we're willing to write you the questions, but you're not willing to say them.
He's sort of using the show as like a travel agency vacation thing.
Right.
Like he really wants to go to this, so he'll say, well, I'll ask questions.
And can you imagine if we really did want to cover this event? Like, the hell he'd put us through?
Here's the thing. If you guys are thinking, oh, we don't want to pay for plane tickets, I can handle that because one of your fans that I met at the Ronnie Block party shows she's a female flight, and it was Southwest and could get buddy passes for.
Yeah, but Eric, you're not understanding. For us to take part of our budget for Howard TV, like I would have to like I could probably produce another cartoon or something on Howard TV that people love, but for us to take part of our budget to fly down and cover you, which is basically great for you because then you get to be like a big star there and people pay attention to you and we take care of you. Instead of doing that, I can do 20 other things, and I know it's going to be a bust because when you get around these guys, you're not going to ask one funny question we put you up to.
Right, and also add to the fact that you're taking the writing staff away for an hour or whatever it is. They're going to write questions for him that he's not going to
ask. Yeah, which, our guys who write for the show, we put a lot of effort into this. And then you kind of disappoint us and don't ask any of the questions.
Here's something you, for some reason, neglect to realize. You realize, or you don't realize, I should say, that you have a lot of fans within TNA and also WWE, plus a lot of the fans that watch these programs.
Yeah, but they don't want to be bored by you.
Right. In other words, if I were gonna cover this event, as you say, for our fans, I would send Wolfie, who's interesting and funny, and ask the questions we give him.
Right, and he'll probably get thrown out, which is even funnier. You're a fan going to a TNA event asking, sycophantic questions.
Trying not to piss off the people you love.
Sycophantic. That's Cinco. I got so let Eric will just stay on the line. I'll get back to him. I got so pissed off yesterday. You do a Google search and you see all the articles on your name, and I'm reading these articles, and this guy wrote this article about how interesting it was that we did this bit. The one where Sal and Richard went out and asked Obama people who were going to vote for Obama, and then asked them, the bit I'm talking about.
Who they're voting
where
for.
they, Sal and Richard said, well, is it okay that Sarah Palin is his running mate? They didn't seem to know Obama's positions or who was running with him or anything.
All right, so listen to the opening of this guy's article. I went fucking berserk. And I know this guy, it's called the Amarillo Globe News, Amarillo, Texas. I mean, 5 people read this fucking thing, but yet it still pissed me off like I can't even tell you. Listen to the opening paragraph. How dumb are we? One of my favorite bits on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno is the jaywalking bit, where he interviews your average schmuck on the street and throws out a few questions. Some of the answers do not instill much faith in the common man or woman. Yacker Howard Stern recently did a takeoff on this bit.
Oh, no.
Which made me wonder, how dumb are we, really? I'll give Leno credit for the inspiration, since Stern is truly the American dream. He's a multimillionaire despite having no discernible talent. So what he's doing, he's not only insulting me about that I stole the jaywalking bit from Jay.
Right.
Now, anyone who's a fan of this show, and this fucknut, Henry, or whatever his name, I don't even know this guy's name from the Amarillo Globe News. Find me this guy's name, this cunt. Because I want to fucking have my fans point out to him that jaywalking was a lift from this show. We started it, and I can fucking prove it, asshole. See how I get worked up?
No, you should be worked up, because that's exactly
this is what happens in my career.
You don't want to happen. You create something, Jay steals it, and then he gets the credit for it.
And not only does he get the credit, I get knocked as being a no talent.
Right.
But the very bit that you love, shit stain, from Amarillo, is the bit I created.
Well, why is he even listening?
And Jay lifted it, and then Jay goes, I didn't lift it. I got that from Steve Allen.
But I love how people smack at you saying you're untalented, but they listen.
Well, I don't know if he listens or not, but
well, he found how did he get a hold of the Sal and Richard tape?
Because every television show, every news television show, every news outlet played our clips because the bit was phenomenal. Sensational. But let me just give the
that
history.
Apparently is some kind of talent.
Evidently. But let me just give the history of my life. As long as this fucker owes me an apology in print. What a cunt. From the Amarillo Globe News. I don't know the guy's name. I'm sorry I'm cursing up a storm, but I get so angry.
Dave Henry.
Dave Henry. Henry, stupid is as stupid does. You're a moron, you shithead. Before you call me a fucking thief for being inspired by Jay Leno, here's the history, and I'll play you the tapes. And I'll make you $1 million bet I fucking invented your favorite bit, jaywalking. Asshole. Calling me a no talent. Your buddy Jay's the no talent. He's a fucking thief. Bottom line. That's the article you should have written. We started doing a thing called the homeless game, where we'd go out and ask people on the street everyday questions, and then we made a game out of it. And while you're at it, Henry, you can also write about how Smarter Than a Fifth Grader was stolen from us. And if you don't believe that one, watch Howard TV when we did a show called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And then watch all the production companies after they hear it on the radio, all this stuff we do, and they call, would you like to do a game on TV about this? And I go, no, I don't need you to do it. And then they just go out and do it anyway. And I get ripped off. But never mind that. I mean, this fucking article just sent me over the edge. I just love it when morons who write articles are so fucking smug. Why don't you bother to find out where Jay got the jaywalking from?
Because Jay's on television. Jay must have invented it.
Oh, yeah, because he gets to see Jay doing it. And by the way, Jay didn't even know he ripped it off. His fucking writers do, because they're all fans of the show. And I don't blame them. If I was bankrupt from ideas, I'd do the same thing. I'd listen to this show and pick and choose what I like and then stick it on The Tonight Show. What a cunt. Fucking Henry from the Amarillo News. Why don't you call in so I can explain life to you, asshole? And since guess what? Here's another thing you can write. This no talent ain't taking any pay cuts. Like fucking asshole Jay Leno. What a fucking pussy he is. That's some talent. He's got the #1 talk show. He's so fucking scary talented, he's taking pay cuts. When you're that talented, you don't need to take a pay cut. Nobody's cutting my pay. I'd leave. Because you know what? I'm actually talented. Jay's so worthless and bankrupt from ideas that he would be willing to do that show for free because he puts no effort into it. Unlike me, what do you think I did all weekend? I worked on my show. A shithead. Jay Leno.
Yeah, you should really school this guy.
Where am I going to get a hold of him?
Down how many different networks when you leave because you're so untalented?
Yeah. Well, this guy in Amarillo, he's doing real well in his career. He's writing for the Amarillo newspaper.
Yeah, when he leaves, the paper will go on. Yeah. It'll be like, you know, they never missed him.
Yeah, ask NBC Radio what happened when I left. Look what happened at Viacom and their great radio division when I left. Right, Eric?
Yeah.
Yes. I give up. Look who I'm talking to, Eric. He doesn't care. He just wants us to go with those wrestlers.
No. Did you watch the Hulk Hogan sex tape?
No, I do not.
What?
He's lying. You know what? I heard Eric mumble under his breath. He went, well, now I can officially cross off seeing Hulk Hogan's penis on my bucket list.
Not at all.
That's not true?
Nope.
No. Who knew Bubba was so generous? I thought he was kidding when he said you could fuck my wife.
Really? No, I thought he meant it.
Most guys want to lend you a vacuum cleaner, some tools, you know, whatever.
Don't even.
This guy, he's...
You know, they don't even want to share their tools.
Well, let's just say we don't know exactly who is in the tape. We don't know if Bubba was involved or not. We, you know, all the legal stuff. I wish Bubba could come on and talk about it, but he has declined because of his divorce agreement.
No wonder they had to have that divorce agreement. There was stuff to talk about.
Eric, if you ever do see the tape, you're going to be very upset with the quality. Evidently, if it is Bubba shooting this stuff, he's shooting in black and white. Either he's a film auteur or he's got bad equipment.
Right. Now, one reason why I was hoping you guys would do this is because I'm involved with TNA right now, trying to get money for your favorite charity, the North Shore Animal League.
Yeah, Eric, I just got to be honest with you. You know, for you to go be a correspondent at the TNA event, we just kind of made a determination. We don't think that would be a comedy gold mine. We just kind of feel you go there and you get a lot out of it. You love meeting the actors and you love asking them, you know, wrestling questions because you are respectful to them. But we just don't think we're going to get enough bang for our buck. All right.
Well, just to let you know, that segment that I'm talking about airs tomorrow on TNA's website. TNA Live is what you look for. To see me making predictions on who will win the matches at the pay-per-view.
Can't they just tell you?
I got to be honest with you. What did he say, Robin?
He's going to tell us who. He's going to make predictions as to who will win the wrestling matches.
Oh. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. Robin's right. They can tell you that in advance. You don't even have to make predictions.
The person that I made the predictions against is their announcer, and he doesn't know who's winning.
But the winner's already been determined.
It's predetermined.
But only the writers themselves know, no one else.
I just feel Eric isn't... all right, I got to go, Eric. I don't think Eric's professional enough to handle this job on Howard TV, based on some of the other shows he's done. This is his Eric... Eric.
I want a clear shot to prove to you that I can be as an effective as an interviewer as anyone on Access Hollywood.
All right, I'm going to play some tape of. Eric. I'm going to play some tape of one of your past shows. This is your American Idol show, and let's see if we think you really are professional enough.
Well, okay, there's
Let's listen. Let's listen.
You are now tuning February 1st. They're in Denver auditioning people. And
It's a good show, but not our thing.
Guy says he gets.
I was going to say this is one of his better shows.
Jack Black a lot.
You like this show?
The thing when I did that show and I did the little interview of the friend, I was reading the questions. That's what you want me to do, is read the questions.
Yeah, but you pick the questions you're comfortable with.
And you notice how slow I was at doing that. I'm better at doing questions off the cuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and
your questions are terrible.
Your questions are terrible, and you just suck everyone's balls.
But they come out a lot quicker.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter. It's less entertaining.
Hey, by the way, did you read Deanna DeGarmo, your girlfriend, married Ace Young? They both appeared on American Idol, and he proposed.
They're married already.
Yeah.
They didn't even give Eric a chance.
No, they set a wedding date.
Oh, they said a wedding.
Yeah,
Eric
sorry.
still could get in there and make his plea.
What do you make of that, Eric? Were you disappointed?
That's good for her.
Yeah. I know you had quite the crush on her. You used to call her home quite a bit. Almost, dare we say, bordering on stalking.
No.
Hey, Eric, didn't you call her mother?
Yes, but that was to try to get her as a guest for this show that I did.
Then if it was just a guess thing, why did she block you on Twitter, Diana DeGarmo?
Because of all the fakes, they were fucking with her, and she confused mine for the fakes. Duh.
Right. That is true. All right, Eric, I got to go. The answer is no. We are not going to cover your wrestling event.
Yeah, you're showing all, or playing all the bad examples when there's two good examples, one of which Johnny knows of, and then the other is...
Well, I'm sorry.
Julie
I was going to say, what are the good examples?
Yeah, when were those?
Julie on a
All right, Eric, I got to go. I mean, I've already devoted 25 minutes to this.
All right.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry. We can't send you to everything, with only some things. But I applaud you for being able to handle no in a professional manner. Thank you.
Right.
All right. That's Eric, the actor. I know it's a disappointment for him.
Yes? You said you're not ready to get married right now.
I didn't say anything.
You just said that in the studio.
Okay. All right. Whatever. What does that mean? That doesn't
well,
mean
that
anything.
certainly leaves the door
There's
or
no
window
doors
or
open.
whatever.
There's nothing open right now. The window is shut. Okay?
So why would you cap that sentence with a "I said for right now"? I mean, you're putting an ellipsis on the end of your statement.
I said the same thing on Jason's show, man. The same thing. Are those guys out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But why not say never? Why are you subscribing to this never say never?
What are you so worried? What about you? You got that girlfriend. When are you getting married?
Maybe soon.
When are you getting married?
I certainly have never said never.
Okay. Well, I've been there and done that. Okay.
So why not shut the door all the way?
Why would I want to do it again?
When you go lock yourself in Scott the engineer's room, you shut the door all the way. Why are you leaving this door open a crack?
I was in a relationship for many, many years.
Right.
A great relationship that unfortunately ended badly, I guess. Consider we're not together anymore.
Right.
And why would I want to go through that again?
Okay, that's fine.
When I got what I got now, it's fine. We're having a great time together.
I'm not questioning that, though.
So I don't know what your problem is.
My problem is you're not shutting the door. You're leaving it open a crack. You're saying, I might...
Dude, don't put any words in my mouth that aren't there, okay?
Well, you're allowing the words...
I never said I was getting married again. I never said I would ever get married again. I never did. Even Will said that. If you listened to the show, you would have heard.
Ronald.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Go ahead, part 2.
Your upcoming poem, currently in production.
We have work to
about
do.
the show in the hallway. Real quick.
We got people...
Real quick.
Yeah.
Are you going to try a different verse structure, a rhyme scheme this time? Because you've been criticized in the past.
I don't care about being criticized. You want me to write, I write.
Maybe
you don't like it?
Maybe you go with a haiku format.
If you don't like it, don't ask me to write again, okay? Fred asked me in his creative writing meeting over here that he has every day, he asked me to write a poem. So I'm working on it.
Okay.
Okay?
Will you include people like myself and John Lieberman in your poem? Because you said you were
Lieberman's in there for sure.
What about me?
He's already in there, believe me.
I was just being polite asking about John. What about me? That's what I'm mostly concerned about.
Well, Rob is in it. That I can tell you.
We spend every
Rob
morning.
Martin's in it.
Why the hell am I not in it? We spend every morning
Dude, I'm
together.
not done yet. I'm not done. I'm working on it, okay?
All right.
What's here? I'm bringing him. This guy won't let me go out there and do my job.
Hey, I just want to point one thing out because we talked about this in the wrap-up show.
Yeah.
You realize that Jason telling me the thing about Stephanie and me bringing it in is my job.
Yeah.
Me thinking of it on my own, that's throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, but the thing is,
but
I did call in to talk about it.
The problem was the clip was bad that we had. Otherwise, I would have played the clip. But I'm just saying, you understand that if I just thought of this and I went in, that would be throwing you under the bus. Somebody gives me the information as a producer, I have to bring it forward.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
I just wanted to make sure you
know. No.
Because we had a whole conversation about throwing people under the bus.
I was there for when it happened. I was listening to the show because it leads into the John Hine TV show, which I'm on. So I made sure that I was listening, and then at the very end of the show, this is when it came up, like 10 minutes to 2.
You're such a washwoman.
So let's just be clear.
We have a job to do. We have guests out there.
You will not marry Stephanie.
I have a job to do right now.
And it's not getting married.
That's good.
Mr. Henry Winkler.
How are you?
Good morning, sir.
How's everything?
I'm good, thanks.
So am I.
You're delighted to be up this early and in the confines of the Howard Stern show?
Here's the truth. An actor has to make the piece, and then you have to sell it. So this is the way it is, and I'm with Howard.
So it's a good start to the day.
It's a really good start.
Right this way, sir.
In here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What if I don't like the room?
Oh, well, then you can float around.
Can I just choose any room?
You have carte blanche here, sir.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to try out the sofa.
Okay. So you're here promoting the performers?
Two. I have a movie opening this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Which is called Here Comes the Boom.
I like the title of that.
Kevin James, Selma Hayek, and me. I guarantee that if your viewers see this and they go, they will cheer. How about that?
You're stamping that guarantee.
I'm telling you, I know it for sure. I saw it last night with a gigantic audience. If you go see Here Comes the Boom, it will make you laugh. You might get emotional. I'm going to go hug Gary.
Mr. Winkler, always a pleasure.
Wow.
One of the nice ones.
Wow.
One of the nice guys.
Wow.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Good.
Me too. Thanks for inviting me to come.
Are you done, Greg?
Yes, sir.
That's because I want to talk about one.
Okay.
A pleasure. Bye, Greg.
Bye. Nice to meet you, Mr.
Yeah,
Rick.
you too.
Okay.
Henry.
All right, Henry Winkler played the Fonzie on the Happy
Yeah.
Days.
It was the Fonz or Fonz.
Yeah. The Fonz. Big successful run on that. I can't figure out how much he's worth. I got to get into that.
Yeah, you wonder how much that set him up.
There he is, Henry Winkler. Henry Winkler, the Fonz. Does it bother you that people still call you the Fonz?
We know.
Did you meet Mark the Bagger out there?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, how did
He's
that
a big
go?
fan.
He was very touched to say hello to me.
If he could get a girl, anyone could, right? Is that right?
She's adorable.
She's adorable. He got himself a girl. I mean, there's hope for JD.
Gesund.
Yeah, right. How you doing?
I'm living the life of you better be careful what you wish for.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's going on?
What does that mean?
All right. This Friday,
right,
I have a film opening called Here Comes the Boom.
Oh, I thought because you were here, you were living the dream that you wished for.
Yeah, finally.
Can I tell you that the last time I was here was 10 years ago.
I know, a long time ago.
Yeah.
How's things going?
Really good.
Yeah.
He's living his life,
living
the
my
life of his dreams.
Yeah.
And 1 month later, I open on Broadway in a brand new play, a brand new comedy called The Performers.
Well, when you do a play,
yes,
there's a lot of memorization of
That
lines.
is true.
You're a guy who suffered from dyslexia.
No, you never stop. I suffer.
You suffer from it.
Yes.
And, people make jokes about dyslexia. They go, oh, the guy's just stupid. And, they always say, but it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
When you see a letter on a page,
right.
It what does it do? It inverts?
For every human being, it does something else.
Because it's like being on acid. When I did LSD, did you ever do acid?
I never did acid, no.
Well, I did it, and the letters would start to close up. I never got so scared. I started to look at a page, and the letters
A doctor used acid once to remove a wart from my toe.
Right.
Yeah, they burned it off.
That's a different kind of
Different
acid.
acid.
Okay.
So Henry.
Yes.
In all seriousness, you had a miserable childhood because of dyslexia.
Yes, I thought that I was stupid.
Your parents were super cruel about it.
Very short German Jews.
They didn't understand that you had dyslexia. I guess they didn't diagnose it.
They
back
did not
then.
diagnose it, and I think even if they knew, they wouldn't care.
And your parents used the German word for dumb idiot to call.
Dummelhund.
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 They renamed you Dummelhund, which means what?
Dumb dog.
Dumb dog.
Yes.
Aww.
Your parents, when you were a kid, they'd call you dumb dog.
Ja, oh, du bist ein dummer Hund.
Right.
You are a dumb dog.
Now, look, you
Wow.
can speak a couple of languages, could they?
Well, I could speak a few words in German and a few words in English.
But when I saw you just do that now, you got tears in your eyes a little bit. Right. Even though you're kidding around, I mean, you're not kidding around, but you try and tell a light story.
Right.
It's not a light thing with
It
you.
was not a light way to grow up, no.
When your parents call you dumb dog,
Right.
It's like, what the fuck? I mean, why
Well,
did you have
it makes
me?
you be a different kind of parent, let me tell you.
Well, are you a better parent?
I don't know yet. You have to ask my kids.
Yeah, but I mean, you say
But you didn't call him dumb
You
dog.
say you didn't call him dumb dog, but
Well-
do you think you took your hostilities out in ways you didn't realize?
Maybe, but not on them.
How do you become a better parent if
I'll
you've
tell
been
you
raised
exactly.
by parents who are calling you dumb dog?
You work on it. You remember that you do not want to be like them. You hear your parents coming off the tip of your tongue, and you say to your kid, you know what? I did not mean to say it that way. I'm going to start again. So just forget.
So who taught you how to be so evolved like that?
Nobody taught me. I just wanted to be.
No therapy, no...
No, not then, no.
Not back then?
No.
So when you had kids, were you really
I'll tell you
afraid
something
you
else.
would be the kind of parents your parents were?
I didn't know if I could be a parent. I just knew that I was duty bound and I was going to get this right.
Were
And
you
of course,
ever-
you know you never get it right.
I know, but at least you try.
You try.
When your parents are calling you dumb dog,
Yeah.
and your parents think you're an idiot and an
Yes.
imbecile, and they let you know it.
Yes.
I imagine. I don't know if your parents are still alive.
They are not.
When did they die?
98.
And-
But they saw
97.
your great success.
They did. Now, they didn't want me to be an actor. You remember, my father wanted me to take over his family business.
Which was?
Buying and selling wood. They bought and
Right.
sold wood.
Yeah. But I
Very
bet was
exciting.
it lucrative?
Yeah, well, you know what? We lived above our means, I think.
Right. But meanwhile, they're calling you dumb dog, and the old man's just selling wood. So who the
And
hell-
I'm thinking I need to be an actor. I dream it. I taste it. I live it. I talk it. I walk it.
Right, and when you come from that kind of background, they just think, again, you're a dumb dog.
Right, then you start to believe you're dumb.
Yeah, because it was almost like, who are you to think you could be an actor?
People asked me that question. They told me I would not be anything.
Did you have tremendous resentment towards your parents for years?
Tremendous is a small word already.
It is.
Yeah.
It was active.
It was like dump truck big.
Like, did you stop talking to them?
I tried to explain to them once. I went, Dad, we never really chat about anything. Yeah, well, you think I'm just a terrible father. And it's all right. Okay, Dad, so this conversation is over.
It's over, right.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear what I have to say.
Right.
Was there a period of time where you kind of shut them out of your life?
Until about last Tuesday, I forgot I had them.
No, be honest. Is that true?
Yes.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm telling you, they were.
Did you go to their funeral?
Yes, my wife convinced me to go.
Wow, you're that hurt by them.
It was, but I mean, now I also
Are you mad at your mother because she didn't step in and stop your father from being such a hard ass?
No, she was
equally
a
hard?
cahoot.
She was in cahoots.
Yeah.
Did you have any siblings?
I did. I have a sister who lives here in this city.
Do they have the same feeling about your parents?
No, they. My sister jokes that she grew up in a wholly different home
because she wasn't dyslexic and she was probably
she's
a girl.
Dyslexic also.
Oh, she is.
Oh, yes.
But maybe it was like less was expected of girls.
Dyslexia is hereditary.
Right.
It's passed down from the parents.
Do you
it's
think your
wiring
father had
in your brain. I don't know. He spoke 11 languages.
So he's a bright guy.
My mother could spell.
At what point do you say to your parents, or maybe you didn't say it, but at what point do you go, hey, man, that's it. I'm done with them. They fucking ruined me. I'm hurt by them.
All right, I didn't think that. All I thought was, I'm going to do what I need to do. I went to, and I'm very grateful for my education.
Right.
I went to Emerson College, and then I went to...
Did you go to Yale?
I did. I went
so
to...
how does a guy with dyslexia, the dumb dog, so to speak...
Because I myself was amazed, but I got it. It's a drama school. I went to the drama school, the graduate school.
How do you get into that? Is it academic? Or
no,
is it
you audition.
What did you do when you auditioned?
I did Launce and the Dog from Shakespeare, and I did a modern speech, and the modern speech was, I don't remember.
But Henry, something doesn't fit in this. If you can't read, and the school didn't diagnose you, and I know that you read your first novel at 30 because you
That's true.
Yeah, because you couldn't...
The Clan of the Cave Bear?
Right.
Yeah, that was
you couldn't put it together. How do you memorize?
I'll tell you how.
On Happy Days, how do you memorize
Where
the script?
there's a will, there's a way. And so I read the scripts very slowly, over and over again. And
when you say slowly, if I gave you a piece of paper to read,
I read one word at a time. Now, I'm now 67 years old.
How exhausting, though.
So my brain and my...
How old are you, 67?
I am.
Wow.
Well, on October 30th.
Yeah, you look good.
Do you think anybody will send me a gift?
Yeah, I hope your family.
No, I was talking about fan base.
No one's sending you any gifts.
All right.
You've got too much.
I just wanted to know.
All your dreams have come true. We don't want to hear about that.
No, I'm telling you.
We'll get to that for a second.
I've still got dreams.
But would your parents get you birthday gifts when you were a kid?
Yes, they would. But they were always practical.
Like what? Like a shirt?
Yes.
That's what you want. You want Great Garlou and they're getting you a shirt.
Shoes. You need a new pair of shoes. Here for your birthday, you get a shoe.
So tell me how this all works out in your life. When you get Happy Days, is that the ultimate fuck you to your parents? You become one of the most famous guys on the planet.
And then my mother says, yeah, we're the co-producers of Henry Winkler.
Oh.
Oh, my God. They're taking credit for you now.
I met people all over the world who said, hey, I've got your parents' autograph.
Right. They took credit for you.
They did.
And credit for all your success.
Yes, right.
And you probably want to take a hammer and hit them over the head.
No. By that time,
were you kind to your parents at that point? Or did you say, you know what, stop it already? Just because I'm a success now, you're going to come into my life and be nice?
I was kind because I was having children. Jed came into my life and he was...
Were you afraid to let your children around your parents knowing how screwed up they are?
No, but Zoe, who now has a beautiful son named Ace.
Right.
Zoe was about 3, and my father was really getting frustrated with Zoe, little Zoe. She was 3, and he kind of lightly slapped her in the face, and she looked up at him, and she slapped him back.
Good. Oh, good. And you're probably so proud.
I said nothing.
Right, because you were proud that your kid could stand up to this bully.
I thought, hey, you know what? What are you doing, father?
Right. You didn't say to your father, though, you prick, you just smacked my kid in the face?
No, I didn't use the word prick. I said, let's not do that again.
Yeah.
We don't do that in this house.
I'm surprised you allowed him into the house after he hit your daughter?
Oh, yeah. No, I couldn't go that far. I mean, they were my parents.
Right. You wanted a relationship.
I have great gratitude for so much that I've been given.
Yes, but not by them.
Yeah, by them.
By them.
Yeah, my education. I traveled. I had a wonderful.
It sounds sad to me, though. You know, I mean, it's, a lot of sadness there. It could have been. Do you ever say to yourself, "Man, what a beautiful relationship we could have had if they only tried"?
I mourn. I mourn the relationship that other people have with their parents.
Right. Did your dad ever take you fishing? Did he ever want to do something with you, or did he just see you as a dumb dog?
My father would say, "All right, now we go for a walk." But, Dad, I'm watching wrestling. They're walking now. All right, Dad, here we go. It's okay. I didn't realize I didn't have a choice.
Right.
Okay.
So it's German Jews, and they were that age. Where were they during World War II?
My father and mother were very lucky, and they got out in 1939.
Right.
I tell the story now.
You think that's some of their anger? Do you think that's some of your dad's anger? Like his whole life had to be uprooted. He had to come to a new country.
It's very possible, and I think
who would
also.
know?
But the sense of your child being invisible doesn't come from that.
Yeah, I think that just comes from being
it's in the genes.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what was this luck that got them out of Germany?
My father got a visa for 6 weeks to come to America. His mother gave him jewelry.
Right.
He bought a box of chocolate and he melted the chocolate down.
Right.
And then he covered each piece of the jewelry in the box with the chocolate.
Oh.
Put it under his arm. So when the Nazis said, "Do you haven't taking anything of value out of Germany?" he said, "No, open my bags. I have nothing."
Right.
And he then came here to America, went through Ellis Island, and sold the jewelry. And that gave him the key to his new life here in America, where I was fortunate enough to be born.
So are you tired of the whole Fonzie thing in the sense that do you ever listen?
It
was always indicated to me by people who are actors that you are a really good actor, and that the Fonzie thing, as successful as it made you and well known, that it kind of held you back in a way that you could have had other.
No, it held me back for about 8 years, but that's when I started to produce MacGyver and Sightings and So Weird and.
Are you
stuff.
a very wealthy guy?
Not anymore. I have a daughter.
No, but seriously, are you a wealthy guy? Do you have to work?
I have to work.
You have to work.
I have to
Not
work.
for money.
I have to work also for money. I have a nut.
You do have a nut.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're saying so when I think of Henry Winkler, I think of the
Are
Fonzie.
you living above your means, Henry?
Well, I try not to, and that's why I work.
Yeah, but I think of, it's true. We think of a guy who did Happy Days for 7 seasons, and then you think the guy's a success and multi-billionaire. But you're not, right? I mean,
No.
Was the payday really good? Because when they first signed you, you were a nobody actor.
That's right.
And how many guys did you beat out for that role?
I don't know the exact number, but I have to say that there were a few hundred guys in the room, and that was just the day I went in.
And you didn't know it would be a success. I mean, you're like, hey, just looking for work.
I had 6 lines.
You want to be a working actor. Up until then, had you done a lot of work?
I did theater.
Right.
I did repertory theater at Yale.
Would you shit your pants when they gave you at Yale a big scene to memorize, and suddenly with dyslexia, and you've got this image of yourself as a dumb dog? I mean,
all of that combined made it like I was a bowl of jelly.
Do you think it was harder for you to memorize lines because of your dyslexia?
If something is written really well, easy to memorize. It goes in. If the writer has an understanding of the human condition, it goes in like a flowing river.
Right.
If it's just written without any thought.
If it's crap writing.
It is so difficult to memorize you can't believe it.
You really never read an entire book till you were 30 years old.
That is true.
That is amazing.
That is true.
So do you feel illiterate? Do you feel like, wow, all my friends are well read?
I did.
Have you gone on a campaign to read a lot of books so you could catch up, so to speak?
No, I didn't. I don't feel the need to catch up. I feel the need to read. I write books for children with my partner, Lynn Oliver.
And those are very successful. It's not some bullshit hobby. You've sold over 3 million books, right?
That's true.
3 million
There are now
children's
23 novels that we have written together.
Is there money in that?
Not a lot. No.
If you sell 3 million books, there's not a lot of money.
Not a lot of money.
Can you sell those children's books and make cartoons or movies?
Well, they're sold in England also, and the English publisher, Walker Books, is now developing Hank Zipser as a TV show.
And Hank Zipser is what, a kid with learning disabilities?
He's in the 4th grade.
Is it you?
It's me.
Okay.
His glass is half full, except
Right.
he spills it everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's funny.
And so you...
Greatest compliment.
Yeah.
Children write and say, how did you know me so well?
Oh, that's great, because you remember what it was like to be...
Wrote the truth.
Did you ever put the whole dumb dog thing in there, too? Like a mean, abusive parent?
No, the one adult book that I wrote is about fly fishing for trout, which is one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, you like that?
I love that.
You love to fish?
I love to fish for trout.
Right.
And
Do you eat these trout, or you just take them and...
I never have eaten a trout. I don't eat them in a restaurant because I think they are so majestic.
So when you catch them, you think you throw them back in, and that makes you feel
I take
better?
a picture with them, and I put them back in the river.
And you know they die shortly thereafter.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
I don't. I catch them again.
Once you put your fingers
You
on
know
them...
it's the exact same
No.
fish.
You hold... Yes, I do.
And the hook and everything when it comes... Most of the time... I'm telling you, because I was fishing for a while, and I used to feel good because I always put them back in. But then they... But
I never hold them for longer than less than a minute. And I don't try, the slime, I tried to get them on the side. It's true. It is absolutely true. I watch them swim away.
They did swim away, but I've heard... I'm not trying to bust your balls, but an hour later they die.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask my guide next time.
Ask your guide.
I might have to give that
They've
up.
been holding back.
You're going to have to give up the one
I might
thing
have
you
to give up the one thing I love.
Right. Well, a guy who's been called dumb dog wants to kill fish. I get it.
Yeah.
But
I also,
kill something.
I won't give up acting.
No, you love it.
I do.
It was your salvation.
It is.
I just love that your parents all of a sudden thought, wow, look at him, the Fonz, Henry Winkler.
It's true.
We didn't even know what we
And then all of a sudden my phone would ring in my house, right? Okay. Hi, this is Mrs. Rotenberg. Hello, Mrs. Rotenberg. Yeah, your mother gave me your number. I'm here in the town.
Oh, my God.
I want to take you to
kidding?
dinner.
Like, they wouldn't be protective of you at all.
I called my mother. I said, you gave Mrs. Rotenberg the number.
Right.
Yes, this is Mrs. Rotenberg. So what?
I know. Like, it doesn't matter what you
You're
think.
still not that
Mom, don't give my number away. I'm going to rip the phone out of the wall.
What about the years you didn't even speak to them? Did they catch on at all? Did they try to figure you out?
No.
How many years are we talking about?
We're talking about, I would say, a good 8.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really abusive.
Yeah.
They didn't
And
hit
then
you, right?
What
They
I've learned is a herd child is a powerful child. So my kids could say to me whatever it was, as long as it wasn't so rude to make me cry.
Right. In other words, if your kid said, "Hey, you're a fucking asshole,"
right,
you'd correct that.
We'd have to chat about that.
Right. Say, "Hey, look."
Because that's not really communication anyway.
But they would be very clear. They got very clear on what they wanted, why they thought they could have it. We let them help make their bedtime, their curfew, their punishment.
Well, I think it's great that you allowed your daughter to hit your father. He deserved it. I really do.
I'm glad about that.
And so, were your parents physically abusive?
No, they were not.
No.
Mentally
abusive. Yeah, that seemed okay.
I used to make the old joke that when I would sit in high school, I would daydream that when I came home, my parents moved and left no forwarding address.
Right. That they would just either divorce, go away, do something.
Yeah, just leave me. I would survive on my own.
Absolutely.
I would beg for food.
So the reason I ask about money and stuff is because we assume that in the first couple of years of Happy Days, they've got you over the barrel. You signed a shitty contract. When the show shoots to #1, do you immediately go in and renegotiate, or you have to stick to the contract?
In the 4th year, my lawyer, Skip Brittenham III, said to me, "Stay home for a day." I said, "Skip, I have never missed a day of work in my life."
Right.
He said, "Stay home, trust me." And that changed my life. And he also changed the entire negotiation for other actors to come. John Ritter came next.
Did you testify at the
I did.
At the John Ritter?
Yes, for Amy Yazbek, I testified.
Amy Yazbek sued who?
Sued the doctors and the hospital for not... That
was Ritter's wife.
That was Ritter's wife.
John Ritter was a close friend of yours.
Very close. The last time I was on Broadway was 13 years ago with John Ritter and Len Cariou and...
Len Cariou. Wow, that's a talent too, right?
Oh, my goodness.
And so you're in with that kid. You knew John Ritter. And how do you end up testifying at his wrongful death trial?
All right. I was there on the set.
The day John died.
Right. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I said, wow, I'm going to go memorize my lines. He said, wow, I'm feeling really sweaty. I'm going to go get a glass of water.
Right.
I never saw him again. At 11 o'clock at night, I get a phone call. We lost John. It took me, I don't know how long. I kept saying, what? What did you just say? What? What did you? I couldn't believe it. They treated him for a heart attack.
Right.
And he had a tear in his aorta.
Now, who's they? In other words,
the hospital.
The hospital.
The hospital.
But don't you think? Now again, I don't know I'm not a medical guy for sure, but I have the hair of a judge, but not the, but don't you
and a very good judge. I happened to watch that show.
Thank you. But don't you think that a doctor isn't always going to be able to tell?
They have tests, Howard.
Yes, they do, but I mean, they're not always going to be able to. Do you think it was an intentional thing?
I
No.
don't know. What I do
You feel
know,
it was incompetence?
What I do know is that I felt it was my duty to help the Ritter family in any way that I could.
Did they win the case?
I don't think they did.
Because I think you got to.
But Amy just wrote a book, big book.
You're still in touch with Amy?
Yes, she emailed me.
Has she found love with someone else?
I think she has. Yes, it's been years and years now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But I will tell you that I miss John every day. He would say the same joke every day. It was funny at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was funny at 6 o'clock at night.
He was that good?
He was that good. He was limitless.
So when you're on Happy Days, the fourth year of Happy Days,
Yes.
you get a great lawyer, and the lawyer goes in and he negotiates. So he gets you enough money so you don't have to worry about money, right?
He got me more money than I could have dreamed of.
And he got you merchandising rights, too.
Yes.
And you and Ron Howard were the only two guys on there that got merchandising, right? The other characters didn't, and they sued.
And they won.
Did they win?
They won.
So like Aaron Moran got some rights, and this one and that
They
one.
all got a fixed amount of money. And that was because of Don Most. Don Most was the spearhead of that. He never let that go.
You don't call him Donnie anymore. He's
No,
Don Most.
he wants to be referred to. He's a director now.
Are those guys still like your family?
We
the Happy
are,
Days
yes.
guys? Ron
we
Howard,
traveled
Don Most?
all over the world and played baseball together.
And Erin Moran, you can't straighten her out. Have you tried?
Well, we all have talked to her, and I don't know
intervention in a sense.
I don't know where she is right now. I hope that she is able to come to terms with that. She has greatness in her, and that she goes on.
You got very sad when I mentioned her name.
I've known her since she was 9. Joni.
Right. And so you're a connected guy. I mean, like it's so different from your parents. You really care about her.
Yes, everybody does.
What went wrong there?
I have no answer for that
She was on
question.
top of the show business world. Joni loves Chachi, all that stuff. I had her on the show. Talented girl.
Funny, great sense of humor, great bubbly spirit.
You say you don't know where she is because she doesn't want you guys bugging her.
No, I don't know that. I don't have the answer to that question. Truly.
What was the last time? Did you all get together? You, Ron, Don Most, all the Charles in Charge? Did he get in charge? Whatever his name is, Scott Baio.
Scott Baio has a brand new show on the air.
And do all of you get together on a regular basis?
No, but we do see each other. Just before I left to come here to rehearse for The Performers, the new play that opens the 19th.
I'm going to get to that.
No, I just like to say it every once in a while.
If she reached out to you for money, would you give her money?
He was going somewhere, Howard. He was answering your question.
Just before I left.
Yes.
I spoke to Don and I spoke to Anson, and I tweet with Ron.
Right.
And I tweet with Scott. Scott and I just did a scene on the new Arrested Development.
Right.
So, yes. And Marion, I keep in touch with Marion, one of the great women.
Did you go to Tom Bosley's funeral?
No, I was working in Europe. I could not go.
You feel bad about that?
I do.
You like the guy?
He was wonderful. I saw him in Fiorello on Broadway before I got to the soundstage on Paramount Studios. My son...
Do you like everybody in show business?
No. There are people that I truly dislike.
Who?
I will not say that on the air.
There's a very famous actor you don't like.
I will not say that on the air.
Why don't you like this actor?
I will not.
You know what I'm talking about, but why don't you like him?
I will not talk about it on the air.
No, but wait a second. I'm not asking you for his name. I'm asking you why don't you like him? What did he do to you?
One of the worst feelings is to be disrespected for me.
Disrespected you because you played the Fonz?
No.
Is that why?
No, just in general.
Really?
Yeah.
Took an attitude. Do you think?
Yeah.
Like you aren't as big as him or something like that?
You know what? I don't know. He should live in health, and I'm having a great life.
Live in hell or health?
Health.
In health?
TH.
All right. So you walked in and you said the premise of today's visit is that your happiest dream is coming true because
It's true.
You're in a play.
I'm in a play that opens the 14th of November, but this Friday, I'm in a wonderful movie. I saw
What
it
is
last
it?
night. It's called Here Comes the Boom. Kevin James, Selma Hayek, and me.
Wow.
And
is this a
Baz
comeback for
Rutten.
you? Are we calling this a comeback in the sense that...
I never thought of it that way.
Well, I think about after Happy Days.
Yes.
You decided to take 10 years off to raise your kids.
I didn't decide.
Hollywood
It was
decided-
really hard to get an acting job. That's when I produced and directed.
And as producing and directing, like you own MacGyver, right?
No, Paramount owns MacGyver.
But you produced it?
We
What does it mean to
executive
produce?
produced it.
What does that mean?
We found the idea.
Right.
John Rich and me.
You bring it to Paramount.
Tony Jonas. We brought it to Paramount. Then we went to ABC. And Daniel was the executive at the time. I walked into her office. We pitched it. Sold it right then and there.
And what was the pitch? A guy who could take anything and make gadgets out
a
of it?
shortcut guy.
A shortcut
When
guy.
no other other agency works.
Right.
Robin, I did not mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
When no other agency works, you call MacGyver.
MacGyver.
Yeah.
Who came up with the idea?
It was brought to us by the president of our company, Tony Jonas at the
How
time.
many places did you pitch MacGyver to before someone bought it?
Well, we went to ABC first because that was my home network.
Right.
They bought it.
Wow. Greenlit.
Greenlit, 7 years, 144 episodes.
Doesn't that give me an idea of the money that generates? Because when you say you need to work, I would think if you were the producer of MacGyver, you brought the network the idea that you got the lion's share of the money.
Well, no, that is not true.
All right.
The lion's share of the money goes to Paramount and ABC.
Did you
And
did
then
you make
you-
millions off of that?
We made money, but you have to remember that was 30 years ago. So when you bring up 3 children and education and college and a house and nuts,
So that doesn't set you for life when
It
you
does
sell
not
them a
set
guy.
you for
Because
life,
people
no.
have the impression that
No.
it does.
Do you have any idea how much makeup comes in and goes out of my house?
No, I understand
But
that.
when
I'm
you
saying,
see today, people like Charlie Sheen, you were that level.
No, I was not. He made much more than.
But I'm saying
than I
in
did.
your time, you were the Charlie Sheen of sitcoms.
Yes, but still, this is a conversation. The level of money was not the same.
right. Happy
Truly.
Days.
Yes.
After that happens, don't you get offered some kind of series that pays you like through the roof because they want to maintain?
Yes, they wanted to call it Fonzie's Happy Days.
Right.
And I wouldn't do that.
You didn't want just the paycheck. You sort of said, hey.
Well, the thing is, it's not broken. I live really well in that family.
Right.
That's how it's working. You take me out of that environment. Who wants to do that?
But they didn't offer you, forget Fonzie's Happy Days. What about, the
My
Henry
own
Winkler
show?
show? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They did, right?
Yes.
And you didn't do it?
No.
Because?
Because I lived really well in that environment.
Right.
And that's where the Fonz flourished.
Did you not fantasize about a huge film career after Happy Days?
No, just that I would continue to work.
Right.
But now.
But then everything dried up.
In my mind, I thought I was going to go from mountaintop to mountaintop because I was in 126 countries.
But you were so well known as the Fonz,
Right.
it was almost impossible to take you and put you in a leading man role.
Or the leading man role was the Fonz.
Did it become embarrassing to you to be living in the Hollywood community, and after a while people go, hey, what are you doing, Henry? What are you doing? And all of a sudden you're not doing the big role?
No, the hardest part was I had this push since I was 7 of wanting something and the ambition of it, and then all of a sudden it dripped out of my body when the Happy Days was over. I was rudderless.
Wow.
Which is painful.
Did you love doing the Fonz?
I loved it.
But you say you were
I love
rudderless.
him now.
You were saying you were rudderless in the sense that I don't know what to do
didn't have
career-wise.
a direction.
There was no one in your life that had a direction for you, like a great agent or,
Didn't matter. It has to come from inside you.
So you felt like maybe I'll walk away from acting?
No, I didn't know. I sat in my office at Paramount Studios, put my feet up at my desk, and I just tried to let it come. And then my lawyer, Skip Brittenham III, said, you'll produce. I said, I don't know how to do that. He said, I trust you. You will learn.
And that's when MacGyver happened. And then what was the other big show you had?
Sightings, which was the study of all things paranormal. We did 7 years of that.
Did you buy the franchise Hollywood Squares? Were you in on that?
I with Michael Levitt, I co-executive produced that for 2 years.
But did you buy the Hollywood Squares franchise? No. You didn't?
No.
You just, the Hollywood Squares hired you?
The King brothers, the King
they
Productions.
had it.
Yeah.
They weren't letting it go.
And so they hired you to become the executive producer.
Yes, and we did that for 2 years. And that was one of the great jobs I've had.
So you still have to hustle.
I do.
I can't believe this.
I do.
Would you ever go to these conventions and sign?
I do.
You do that. Do you like doing that? Does that bother you?
I'll tell you why it's great.
Okay.
I meet people who I would never meet. I go to places I would never go. And the one-on-one...
Do you go with a cigar box and you have to hand back the... like in other words, someone
Or do
hands
you have the change thing that the ice cream man
someone
uses?
gives you a 20 and then you go, here, okay, I'll sign the autograph.
Bobby Valencia does that.
He does that.
Yes, he does.
I think that it...
Do you have someone who handles that for you?
Yeah, you got to.
There is there's a Bobby Valencia who is an incredible character.
It's very lucrative, isn't it?
It is. It can be.
So if Fred came over to you and said, hey, Henry, let me have your autograph, would you say to him, listen, you go to a convention, you got to pay for it?
No.
You would sign it?
I would sign it.
You would?
I would.
You would?
I have.
You
I
have?
I do.
I didn't
And
know
are you
Fred
selective about which of these conventions you go to? Do you know which ones to be at? And
I don't
not
know
to?
which ones to be at. I do everything by my stomach.
He's got people who tell him that.
I know everything from my stomach.
Man, you do it all. Children's book, plays, this, that, the other thing.
This is the movie that opens this Friday called Here Comes the Boom.
Hey, let me do the plugs. I'll do them. You don't have to do that.
But it's okay because I'm so proud of it.
See Henry Winkler in The Performers at the Longacre Theater on Broadway in Manhattan.
That must be a dream come true.
Well, this is my third time on Broadway.
But have you ever opened anything?
This is, yes. Each one of them were brand new plays.
Oh, wonderful.
The first one opened and closed in one night.
Oh.
Then I promised I was going to make it right. Talk about just, if you will it is not a dream.
Right.
That was 1973. Opened and closed in one night. 1999, Neil Simon called me.
Do people still like theater? Is it dying?
They love theater.
They love it.
I love theater.
They love theater.
A lot of people can't sit through. It's got to be either a glitzy musical with Spider-Man flying through the air. Do people
Did
go
you
to
see by any chance One Man, Two Governors?
No.
Yes, I've seen it.
All right. Am I right? Were you prepared for how hard you were going to laugh?
No. I thought I just went to see it,
Yes.
and then I was like, "Oh my God!"
But isn't the art form dying? Isn't the audience
No.
has become more like Vegas? That people will go. The big hit shows are just simple musicals, and it's got to be. You got to dumb it down, so to speak.
Broadway is Mecca.
It's Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
I do. I'm thrilled out of my brain that I'm going to do The Performers.
All right. What is it about?
Okay. It is. No. This is great. It's the night of the Adult Performers Academy Awards.
Right, the AVN Awards.
Okay. I am the Lifetime Achievement Award.
All right, so you're a porn star.
I am.
And you're a great porn star. Big cock.
You're Hall of Fame material.
I
you ever curse? Do you ever say big cock?
Big
girthy cock? Would you ever say that?
Not here.
You wouldn't?
No.
You do curse in your personal life?
In my personal life?
Yeah.
I love the word
Is the reason
fuck.
you don't curse? Oh, you do?
Oh.
I thought maybe you don't curse because you were the Fonz and there's a...
No. I can't live that way.
Right.
That would be crazy.
Is there still... But let's get back to the play in a second. But is there still syndication money from
$23. I got a check for $23.
You're kidding.
I'm
so
serious.
And the show's still on everywhere, right?
Everywhere. I got a medal from the government of France, the Queen of England.
You got a medal from the government of France?
I did.
For Happy Days?
And for the work that I do with children.
No kidding.
Last year, the Queen of England gave me the Order of the British Empire. Wow. For the work that I do there with children who learn differently.
It's you. Well, can that get you laid? I mean,
no. But I have three more initials I can write
forever? You've been married forever.
34 years.
You got married during the Happy Days years, right?
I did. Yes.
Actress, right?
No. Publicist.
Publicist. Oh, they're the hottest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I met Stacy. She's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I sat behind your beautiful wife in a very bad movie.
Oh, what movie?
Eat, Pray, Love.
She liked it.
She did?
Yeah, I watched it. I cried.
No, people like the book.
No.
Yeah.
The Pray part went on for like a month.
But it was a bit of a drag.
We never got to the eat.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but you're 67 now.
I am.
You've been married to the same woman for
34 years.
34 years.
Yeah.
No cheating, right?
No.
Wow, there was a little hesitation.
You
No,
haven't
there
banged
was
anyone
not.
else in 34 years except your beautiful wife.
That's right.
Is that really true?
Yes.
Well, what is he going to say?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Wink if that's not true. Did you? Yeah. No. Okay. Is your sex life good still, or do you care about? I mean, you're 67, and the reason I ask, I ain't that far behind.
Everything works.
Yeah, everything works, but do you care? Do you like even give it? Yeah,
Yes.
It's changed though, right?
It always changes. It changes and then it changes back.
Do weeks go by you don't fuck your wife?
It could be a scenario.
Wow.
But then there are weeks.
Right.
That you do it every day.
Do you fantasize about other women? When you watch porn, you're playing a porn actor. Do you watch porn?
I have not. I have not done.
How do you study for this part? You don't?
You know what? They're all human beings. This is a really, really.
You mean in your personal life,
an
you don't
emotional
watch porn?
play? I don't watch porn.
And you're playing a porn actor. And you said I'm not going to watch porn.
No, I didn't say I was not going to watch porn.
Right.
I would have watched porn. There is an expression called gaping. There was the best gaping award.
Yeah.
No one knew what gaping
What
meant.
is gaping? I don't even know. And I'm
I
a
still don't
pervert.
know.
Yeah.
The director made a decision. Evan Cabinet made the decision that he would not show us a film with gaping in it because you can't go home again.
What is it, though?
I'm not sure, but I think it
You
has
know
to
what
do.
it is.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure.
I never heard of it.
It is.
I haven't
it
either.
is what you can fit into an orifice that is probably behind us.
Oh, in the ass. So it's people fisting. You mean?
No, that's a whole other category.
It's shoving what?
Gaping.
A big thick.
Maybe gerbil.
Well,
I
here's
don't
a guy
know.
who knows.
Maybe
What is it, JD?
Maybe a microphone.
Gaping is.
You know?
Yes.
Oh, he
He's
watches
a
tons of porn.
student,
Where-
yes.
He never gets laid.
Mainly the asshole is wide open.
Right.
Like people stick things in there to keep it open.
Do you like it?
No, I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan of it?
No.
All right.
No, that's where you see it.
Can I shake your hand?
If you want.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now you know.
That has not touched the gaping, has it?
No, it has not.
No.
At least
he's
not in a
clean.
while.
He's clean. So you don't masturbate.
Wow.
You don't masturbate.
You can learn anything about
You don't
porn on this
masturbate
show.
at all.
I have masturbated.
You know what? I used to masturbate a lot.
Yeah.
And now I'm 58.
Right.
I haven't masturbated in ages. Even when my wife's out of town.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's
Well,
weird.
you just had a masturbation story you told us the other day.
Did I? I'm telling you, I don't think I've masturbated.
I think you're forgetting.
Oh,
in a
see,
month
you're
or two.
58. You don't remember what happened yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of.
Wow. Walk into a room, open the refrigerator, and go, exactly why am I here?
Is it liberating not to have the same sex drive as when you had it when you were 20? I mean, is it liberating?
I never thought of liberating.
It's liberating in the sense that you're not completely consumed with
I'm
it.
not consumed.
Weren't there years with your fame that even I know you didn't cheat on your wife, but I mean, weren't there years you went, oh my God, the girls I could be having right now or something? How'd you get through that?
You know what? You never know why that girl wants to be with you.
It's a use.
And that is a real turnoff.
Right, because while you could use them for their beauty,
right,
they'll use you, and then
Right.
it's all empty.
There were periods of time before I was married that were really inventive.
Well, you mean in Happy Days years, but before
Yes.
you met her, you had a threesome?
No, I've never had a threesome.
But you had many women.
Because you know what? Threesomes, I don't think threesomes work.
Me
Because I
neither.
think somebody is always angry.
Right.
It's one of
And
those
it's usually
people.
the guy,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Hey, hello.
About me.
I'm here. What's going on?
Yeah. Do you have? When is the last time you did the Fonzie voice, if you will? When is the last time you actually did it?
Maybe a few days ago.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what was the
I'll
circumstance?
talk to you like the Fonz.
Is that how
Because
Fonzie-
you're Howard Stern.
Is that how he talked?
This is it. I changed my voice. I changed my body. You know, hey, Howard, I like you. You could use it like a trim on your hair.
You were asked to be the lead in Grease with that.
I was.
And you turned it down. John Travolta took it, and his career, as you often say, he bought a plane, and I was home drinking Perrier.
That's true.
Yes. And so
I said that.
I know you did.
How did? My God, your research is good.
That's that research. I know about you.
Yeah.
I stalk you like a motherfucker. You do? Yes. Now,
He would have
when
been
you-
at one of those conventions in the line.
That's right. I was in line twice. $20 I gave you.
Thank you.
Now, do you, Travolta? Why did you turn down Grease? Because you didn't want to play another leather jacket guy?
I was not clear thinking at the time. I am honestly. If I knew now, you know, when they say that youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
If I knew then what I know now, I would have done Grease.
Right.
But I thought, oh, well, I've done the Fonz. I've done it for so long. I should do another kind of character.
Could you have some?
Not really, but they have people who sing for you.
Why did you hate Pinky Truscadero on the show?
I didn't like her as a human being.
You really disliked her?
I disliked her.
Yeah.
Leather, on the other hand, was a fabulous woman who still rock and rolls all over Europe. She married somebody from Germany.
Why did you make it known to Pinky and the producers that you didn't like her? I don't know the actress's name.
You know what? I don't remember it then. I'm pretty clear about it now.
Were you the type of guy who would say, hey, look, I don't like her. I want her out of here?
No, I never have said that in my whole life.
You never would cause somebody work?
No, ever, ever, ever. I know how difficult it is, no matter who you are, to get the work you want. I would never say that.
When you were the producer of Hollywood Squares, would you get angry with some of your Hollywood friends who wouldn't go on the show?
No, because we had 9 squares to fill.
Yes, but aren't there people that you would have said, hey, that guy's my friend, can he come on for a week?
It was, no, but it was shocking sometimes the amount of money we would offer to somebody to sit in the middle.
Right.
Then realized, you know what, you don't really need like a gigantic star in the middle.
Right.
And Martin Mull did it for a whole year.
Right.
He was so funny.
Then it was more the show than the actual individual.
The show is bigger than the individual.
But Hollywood Squares would be the biggest franchise in the world if you could get A-list people to sit in those squares. It would be awesome, right? I mean, that would be the fantasy.
We had Simon Cowell sat in our center square. Ellen was in our center square. Gary was on our show.
I know.
It was fantastic. We sometimes had to bring a change of clothes because it was so funny that we literally wet ourselves.
But I would imagine if I was the producer of Hollywood Squares and I turned to a good friend of mine, like I know John Stamos very well. If I said, John, I need you, and he said no, I'd be like, fuck, man, what am I going to do?
No, you got to move on. Everybody makes a choice. I've made choices. It is up to them. We did not take that personally.
So when you get together with the other, not that you get together with the other guys from Happy Days, Pinky Truscadero is not invited.
She is never invited.
Wow.
Ever.
She was rude to you.
You know what? She also didn't know what she was doing at the time.
Meaning that she was not a good actress?
Yeah. She had red hair. That was about it.
It made you angry that she wasn't prepared with her lines?
It made me... all of that.
All of that?
All of that. Ron Howard, in the 7th year, decided to be a director.
Right.
So he left. I thought my career was over.
Right.
I thought there would never be another connection like that.
Right.
He... as an acting partner goes, it was like from heaven. Scott Baio came in, young man, stepped up to the plate,
hit a home run.
And hit a home run.
Made you feel good, made you feel like, hey, this is good.
And we had so much fun together.
But Pinky comes in and makes you feel the opposite
Well,
way.
everybody had to work too hard.
Did you confront her at one point on the set?
I don't remember that.
If somebody can't act, I mean, what are you going to confront them about?
Yeah, but it sounds like she wasn't nice to Henry.
You know, that experience was not one of my favorite experiences on the show.
So, see, there are people you don't like in show business.
There are 3 or 4.
I wonder what they did to you.
They were completely disrespectful.
All right, Gary, who is it that he hates?
I think I know.
Okay, go ahead, take a guess.
Because somebody just sent me a note. Were you the director of the movie Turner and Hooch?
I was.
Did you get fired from the movie?
13 days in.
Was it over a dispute with something with Tom Hanks?
You know what? I don't know.
It was Tom Hanks.
I had no dispute. So, I went into Jeff Katzenberg's office, and Jeff said, "I'm sorry, you have to go now because I'm not seeing it in the dailies."
You hate Tom Hanks.
No.
I think that's funny that the nicest guy in Hollywood hates the second nicest guy in Hollywood.
I don't hate him at all.
You're a talented man.
You know that Rita...
what do you think happened?
Rita was on Happy Days. One of her very first jobs was Happy Days.
Talk to me about Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
Was it a good movie, ultimately?
It was a decent movie, I think.
I'm asking Henry if he thought it was a good movie.
I'm not sure I saw it.
Because you were angry.
I think it made some money.
I love that dog.
Yeah, but it had to make... Talk to me about your professionalism. It had to make you nuts. You're a director. You're working on something.
I was very sad.
What did they say you were doing wrong?
They only said it was not on the screen.
Had they given you any direction before that?
Not that I remember.
So that means Hanks probably went to them and complained. I'm guessing.
That was never told to me. I never that.
The dog didn't do it.
The dog.
Do they have to pay you anyway?
Yes, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
But
that didn't matter.
Right. Your ego
no amount of money
could help
you in a situation like that.
Do you go home and I guess your wife is your confidant, your closest confidant. Like she knows you the best. Yes. And do you just say to her, "Oh, I'm devastated"?
She was out of town at the time. I called her. She was in the East and I was in the West. And it was hard to speak language.
And, I always think everybody knows everything that's going on in my life. People probably in Hollywood don't know, but do you walk around and go, everyone knows I got fired off of Turner and Hooch?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's
you think
crushing.
you're wearing some kind of sign on your back.
How do you get past that?
Your family.
Right.
Your own maturity.
Because you're a good director, right?
The work that comes.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was wondering. Do you wonder if you'll ever work again? Does that stuff get her out in Hollywood?
Yeah, that's your fear.
You fear that you will never work again. But then that comes with pretty much anything.
Right. Yeah. That's a tough business.
Yeah.
And so you never have seen the movie Turner and Hooch to see what...
No.
Who ended up replacing you on that?
An Englishman.
An English guy.
Yeah.
And what does he know?
I don't know.
What does he know about American
He
audiences?
was a pretty popular director at the time and did a lot of action.
Wow.
And Tom Hanks liked it.
Do you like Tom Hanks?
I do. I know him.
So it's not Tom Hanks you're referring to?
No.
Wink at me if it is. Do you like Hooch?
I love Hooch. Angela Bassett came in, a fabulous actress from Yale.
Yes?
I said, I have less than a line for you. She said, I'll take it.
Wow.
I gave her her first job.
In Turner and Hooch?
In Turner and Hooch.
And she got to stay on the movie. And
She did.
She won an Academy Award.
And
no,
then,
she didn't
well,
win
she is unbelievable.
Did the movie ended up doing well at the box office?
I don't remember.
Oh,
it did.
Do you secretly hope? Oh, I hope it fucking fails.
No, what I really secretly is I don't care.
Right. Well, hey, listen.
But I love that dog.
Right. We all have our successes and failures.
But look at us today.
And no wonder you loved it. Didn't your father call you a dumb dog? You become full circle.
See,
to
there
this.
you go.
There you are. The dog. It's
and
all
the
about
dog was smarter than I was.
Was your father
French
alive when you
Mastiff.
got fired from the movie Turner and Hooch?
Yes, he was.
Oh, you are a failure.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
No, but he was thinking it.
Right.
My father.
Was that in your head when you got fired? Like, oh, my father was right.
No, what Robin said was in my head that you think everybody knows you'll never work again.
Right.
I was fired as a director, and then when I left Yale, when I left the repertory theater at Yale Drama School, I went to the Arena stage in Washington.
Right.
And I was fired as an actor.
Oh, my God.
And I drove back.
Yeah.
To New York, and I cried from Washington, D.C. to New York City thinking, my career hasn't even started, it's over.
And isn't the lesson in that you can't give up?
Yes.
It really is.
If you will it, it is not a dream.
Because, look, you got fired from your first acting job.
Right.
I remember my first radio job. Actually, I was at the station, WNTN, and the guy wouldn't even pay me. I was so bad. He hired me and wouldn't pay me. He said, I'm not giving you a paycheck. You're horrible.
Right.
And in the back of your mind, I go, my father called me a moron. He's right. I'm an idiot. I mean, what am I thinking here?
And then what happened?
And then you persevere, right?
Right. You persevere.
Actually, you know what happened to me? I went into the wood selling business. I made a fortune. No.
Is that true?
No.
But I want to tell you something that...
You should be selling wood. Did you hear that in the car ride?
Oh.
But you were saying, tell me something.
No, that very theme is the theme of Here Comes the Boom. You don't know what you can do until you get off the mat, put one foot in front of the other, and try.
What happens in the play that, so you're an AVN porn star.
There are two couples.
Right.
Played by such talented, wonderful people. Young people.
Yes.
I am the elder statesman.
Can you believe that? Do you feel old? No.
I don't know,
right?
no.
Yeah.
But only when one of them calls me 90.
Does 67 feel old to you?
No, it doesn't. I feel vital, and I feel just grateful and filled with life.
You worry about death?
I worry about death slowly, because I'm at the end more than I am.
Yeah, how much do you have left?
Yes, how much do you have left?
How are we going to get through that?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute, because I don't know.
Good.
So these two couples on the night of the Adult Movie Awards.
Right.
One is an interviewer.
Right.
One is a porn star.
That's
They've
you.
known each other in high school.
Right. They fall in love.
No. The interviewer brings his fiancée. The porn star is married. She's also a porn star. And both couples lose their emotional way on this particular night. And I'm kind of like the glue that brings them back together. It is a play about the heart.
Is there nudity?
There's no nudity.
Will we see a naked Henry Winkler?
Never, ever.
Have we ever seen a naked Henry Winkler?
No, you have not. I just want to say...
If the role is great, you will not be nude for it.
I learned never to say never.
All right.
I have learned never to say never.
Ever since the Fonzie, I've wanted to see you naked.
Truly.
That's right. That's
Not
right.
anymore.
Well, there was a lot of that. Wasn't there, when you were the Fonz?
Absolutely. Well, you know you've gone to hell if your afterlife is you're stuck in a room with Pinky Tuscadero for eternity. Would
That's
that be-
hell.
That's hell. You know that.
You
So
went
you
to
better live
hell.
a good
That
life.
would be a version.
That's right. Here's a fact about Henry Winkler you didn't know. He hates motorcycles. Go figure.
I do.
No.
I do.
Yes, yes. No, he hates them.
I do. Well, I don't trust them with me. I'm so dyslexic, I don't know where the hand and the thing
Right.
and the foot and the boom and the bin.
He hates motorcycles and the Jews.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Of course.
I went to high holiday services at the temple that I was bar mitzvahed and married in.
You were
66th
married in
Street.
that temple, too.
Yes, Congregation Habonim.
Try branching out. Go to a different temple.
Well, I do in the
Previews
in the
begin October 23rd and opens November 14th for the
There
performers.
That's the performers.
And for a chance to win 2 tickets to opening night, enter on Twitter at performers BWAY. Okay? That's it.
But this Friday,
go ahead.
Here comes the boom. Here
Right,
comes
the movie.
boom.
The movie with Kevin James.
That's what you want everybody
Funny,
to remember right now.
Funny, wonderful movie.
I'll
Truly.
take your word. And you saw the movie.
I've seen it twice now.
All right.
And the audience cheers at the end of the film. They cry a little. They laugh a lot.
Did they approach you to do the movie?
All right.
Did you have to audition?
I'm at the Hollywood Star Hall of Fame ceremony for Adam Sandler.
Right.
I'm asked to speak. Kevin James is there. He's asked to speak. I've shaken his hand now maybe twice before. That's it.
Adam Sandler.
No,
Kevin James.
I've done 4 films with Adam. With Kevin.
Why do you think Adam has chosen you for all these films?
We get along.
Was he a fan of yours on Happy Days?
He
Is that-
was.
A big fan.
Yes.
Does he hock you on the set the whole time about
Never.
Happy Days? Never brings it up.
He is completely concentrated on making the best film he can.
You've said you've met 3 geniuses in your life.
Gary Marshall.
Right,
Yes.
Gary Marshall, who directed Pretty Woman,
right?
Who, of course, wrote Happy Days,
Right.
and a million other Laverne and Shirley.
But
and all
truly, I mean,
Brilliant.
he is in another category.
and a nice guy.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, when I was working on Private Parts, the script, he was very, very helpful.
Yes.
He,
That's
I could call. He allowed me to call him and ask him questions.
Very smart.
All right, so that's Gary Marshall.
Okay, Adam.
Adam Sandler.
Because no matter how goofy you think he is, or how shy, whatever it is, the man is in charge of every detail of every movie that he makes.
And the third one has to be me, right?
The third one, you're the fourth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, who's
You're
the third
not
one?
in the top 3.
Mitch Hurwitz.
Mitch Hurwitz?
Who
is that?
I'm going to tell you. I just
Such
finished.
a rabbi?
No.
No, who is Mitch Hurwitz?
Well, in a way, he is.
Adam Sandler, Gary Marshall, and Mitch Hurwitz.
Hello?
How disappointing.
Come in, Mitch.
All right, why is he a genius?
Mitch is the creator
of
Arrested Development.
Ah.
And we just shot the new...
You did 2 seasons on that?
I did 3.
3 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we just shot the brand new episodes for Netflix that'll be on
A
next
lot of
spring.
dough in Arrested Development for you?
No.
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 Are you worth-
never.
Are you worth $35 million? That's what it says on the internet that you're worth.
I am not worth $35 million.
You're
Honestly,
worth less.
I am worth less.
Wow.
You know, I can't believe that Ron Howard isn't on that.
I
in the
just
top
dress
3.
well.
Ron
Howard
is
is not in the top 3.
Ron Howard? Never mind him. What about me?
You
Ron
should be in
Howard's
there.
movies, however, they have. He's like in the $1 billion
I can't
club.
believe this. What's his name? Hurwitz?
Mitch
Hurwitz.
beat out Einstein.
Mitch Hurwitz. I never met
He never
Einstein.
met him.
Oh, that's right. Well, listen. It's fascinating.
Thank
You're
you.
a great guy.
Thank
great
you.
talking to you.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck. Did you have to audition for that movie? No. For the Kevin James movie?
No, so I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So we're speaking at the Star on Hollywood for
Right.
Adam.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I go home. I have a sandwich. I get a call. It's Kevin James. He's never called me before in his life. Hi, Kev. Whew, I shouldn't call you Kev. I don't know you that well.
Right.
Hi, Kevin. He said. I said, didn't we have fun this morning? He said, you want to be in my movie?
Wow.
I said,
It's like
okay.
that.
So he liked riffing with you.
Are you one of those guys that people don't think you'll do the movie, or they don't
I
think
have no
of you?
idea.
And it's like, so you need to get out there, go to these parties in Hollywood so
I guess.
people remember that you're there.
Yeah. No, we don't go to a lot of parties, but
Maybe you
Kevin
need to.
called me. And now the
If you
result,
hadn't run into him at the Walk of Fame there.
It's
you would-
true.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why you got to be part of the scene. If you're living somewhere else,
It's true.
you got to be
It's
there.
true. It's true. But
Jeff the Drunk, go ahead quickly for Henry Winkler.
Yeah, I was part of the scene.
Well, you got to get on the scene. That's why
Yeah,
you don't
you're
get
not
more work.
riffing with anybody, Jeff.
Right.
But no, I was going to ask about Aaron Moran, but you
We
already
did
spoke
that. Yeah.
about
Oh.
And you stayed on the line anyway.
Well, like Aaron Moran, no one can straighten you out either. It's impossible to straighten anybody out. You know, that's also the lesson. Like you said in the beginning of this interview, Aaron Moran from Happy Days, great girl, blah, blah, blah. You've tried to sort of intervene in her life. Yeah, all of you have. But you really, someone's got to be receptive, right? It's very...
If they don't choose to do it, you cannot lead somebody to the water and have them drink unless they're ready, unless they're really thirsty.
So you don't feel guilty in any way, like you didn't do enough?
I feel sad.
Sad, that's it. I can tell.
Very sad.
You actually tear up every time I mention her name.
Yeah.
Wow, you felt close to her.
Oh, she was like my little daughter.
Wow.
You know, we gave her first bike.
Wow.
Wow.
Her first bike was given by you, my friend. Your first bike, Aaron, from Henry Winkler.
And the cast.
And the cast of Happy Days. You're right, you can't
Don't
sing.
give up your day
Yeah.
job.
You shouldn't be
very
agreeing.
much. Thank you.
She pedaled away and screwed up that damn bike.
That was
It
the
is
bike
sad.
that sent her on the wrong path.
It is sad. It is sad.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
What a pleasure this has been.
Michael Keaton. That's the one you hate.
No.
No? You
No,
love
we
him.
did night shift together.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I want to know who you hate.
Oh, man.
You'll tell me.
No, it just...
Is it a big, big star?
Yes.
Yes.
Clooney.
No.
You were great friends with his aunt.
No.
Did you used to have dinner every week with what's his Clooney?
Rosemary
Clooney.
She invited me to her house when I first got to Hollywood, and there was chocolate milk waiting for me in the refrigerator.
What did she think you were 10?
No, that's what I asked for. I like chocolate milk.
Oh.
And I had dinner with the entire family once a
With
week.
George too?
I don't know that George was there. He's a
George
cousin.
wasn't invited.
Right. Was it that must have been
Miguel
freaky.
was there. Miguel Ferrer, great actor.
Was that freaky to you? Like all of a sudden you're accepted?
No. It was so warm and lovely.
Wow. Why do you think she was so
Now
into
remember,
you?
in my
you think she was
apartment.
hot for you?
No, she never. No, that was not.
Nothing like that.
No.
God, go figure your life.
But she gave these great dinner parties all the time, right?
She did, but this time it was just me. I mean, I would just go.
In the article, it says you got along better with Hooch than Turner, which was Tom Hanks. I think Tom Hanks is the guy you don't like in Hollywood. I do.
Oh.
You swear to God? Okay. Now we're on to something.
Uh-oh, it is Tom Hanks.
No,
Wow.
it is not
No,
Tom
it
Hanks.
is.
Wow, that's
Yeah, read it to you.
amazing.
Listen to this line. He topped himself in the next venture in 1980. Tom Hanks comedy Turner and Hooch. After 13 days of shooting, he was canned. Let's just say I got along better with Hooch than I did Turner.
So
He
you
says
said
with
that.
a shrug.
With a shrug. The
All right,
dog.
listen.
The dog. I fed the dog. The
You've
dog
said
loved
enough.
me.
You've said enough. You've opened your mouth too much. Tom Hanks is livid with you now. Henry Winkler, thank you. I'm honored you're here.
Pleasure to
So
have
am
you
I.
again.
And great seeing you.
Thank you.
And we'll be back right after these words.
Henry, what an experience.
Well, you know, it's you can do a radio show and then you do Howard, and that's the way it is.
What's the difference
And
between your...
How respectful was he to me? How tender was he to me? Unbelievable. You know, when I first did it, people warned me, don't go on, you can't do that. He'll... What a guy. What a guy. He does his homework. He knows his research. He knows what he wants to say. He is curiosity just gets right into your brain. Wow.
And on top of that, the show is informative. You know, you've lived quite the life. You've had all these experiences, yet you come here and you learn what gaping is.
It's true. That's true. They would not explain that to me really at the show.
At all these other radio stations and all the countless other interviews you do,
I will not bring up gaping.
Nor would they teach you about something like that.
No, gaping. I've saved that especially here. It's an exclusive for Howard.
You're now complete.
Thank you.
The thing was, this tape is over 6 years old.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And so for this thing to
why now?
Surface, okay, who wants to hurt? You know, who wants to hurt who? That's what you got to figure out, and why.
Radar just put out an article saying that Hulk has braced his family for the possibility of a second sex tape coming out.
Oh, really?
Oh, I have no idea.
How many sex tapes are there?
I have no idea.
You didn't brace your family for anything?
No, I braced my family. There could be another one.
Will you press charges?
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna.
Oh, yes,
You're going
sir.
ahead with this.
Yes,
because
sir.
you've got to prove to the world, too, that you're not in on it. Yeah, right.
I've been rocked pretty hard before, but this is...
You're at it. You're at it.
I could see why somebody would not want to face this and jump off the Empire State Building. I could see something. I could see how this could do something really horrible to someone's life beyond repair.
Are you saying you're feeling suicidal?
No, not at all. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It's really turned my world upside down. I actually feel safe, you know, coming to see you, and that's an honest statement. It's really cool.
You will recover from this. I know you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a strong man. You're strong mentally.
Just have to weather the storm.
I'm officially saying Hulk Hogan was no way in on this thing.
Can I give an opinion on this?
Go ahead.
I believe that Hulk absolutely did not know he was being taped.
I agree.
But that doesn't mean he's not now in on something.
I say he's not in on it.
I disagree.
I say if he's turned this over to a district attorney, as he said, he's not in on it. But if it's just
he hasn't done it
lip
yet.
service, he has been on it.
I know somebody who used to represent the guy that put out the Pam and Tommy tape, and the first thing you do is say that you're suing, that you've called the authorities and you're suing.
Right.
But you have to actually prove it.
No, that's true.
That's what I said.
Right.
Do we have any proof that he's called the district attorney?
He himself says he has not. He says he is preparing to.
Howard, who's your best friend in the world?
Wait a second. And he's saying, he even said to Bubba, I'm really going to call the district attorney.
But they could have worked that out.
Right.
Yes, they could have. But I am telling you, this is my belief.
Well, I told you yesterday, you've been duped before.
All right, so I've been duped. Are you being duped too? Tell me your opinion. Do you think Hulk is in on it or not? I want a definite answer. Do you think Hulk is in on it?
A definite answer, yes, he's in on it.
All right, you say yes. You say yes?
I think so.
I
think
say
so.
no. I think so is
No,
yes.
don't equivocate.
Yes,
You're wearing a jacket. You're professional. Give us a definite
Can
answer.
I just say one thing to prove my point?
Go ahead.
Jacket Gary, what is your stand?
Your jacket, Gary.
Who would you say is your best friend in the world right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
You.
Okay, so say...
No.
No, but say...
I was lying.
See, you lie.
Okay, Robin.
Anyone but you right
so
now.
if you go to...
Robin will wear a jacket.
Whatever reason, you went to Robin's apartment, and
Right.
whatever reason, you hooked up with somebody, and now the tape is out. Do you say... And Robin says she doesn't know anything about it. Are you not suspicious? Are you not mad at Robin? He didn't seem mad yesterday. I thought he would be so much madder at the people involved.
Well, when you start going into theories like maybe it could be the man from the moon who set the camera up in his house, give me a break.
Yeah, that part I didn't get.
It's gotta be his camera.
Yeah, but it's definitely not. I don't think Hulk Hogan was involved. I don't think he knew there was a camera.
All right, there are 3 people involved.
There are 3 people involved. I do not believe Hulk. Well, there could have been 4.
Which one of them turned on the camera?
There could have been 4.
That's right.
I mean, if you're
Who's the 4?
If you're with the FBI, you're going to say it's either Bubba, Heather, Hulk, or an
Those
outside,
are your best suspects.
Or those are your best ones, or an outside party who was out to get something on Bubba, and Hulk fell into it.
That's right.
That's right. So
But
those are your 4
Bubba's not
possibilities.
up in arms and saying he wants his house scoured.
No. So what I'm saying is, as you say, the 3 most likely people you have to look at are the 3 involved.
But then now there's a combination.
And I
Look,
believe,
okay.
I believe that
If
Hulk
Bubba-
Hogan
wait a minute, let
was
me ask
not
you something.
aware of what was being done.
All right, that's one thing. But if Bubba found out that there was a camera in his house that he didn't know about,
He would go berserk, and there would be.
is he going berserk?
I don't know. I'm not there.
I haven't heard anything. If he's berserk, you might
if
hear
I found
something.
out there was a hidden camera in my house that I didn't know about, the authorities would have already been called in.
Absolutely.
Right. And then Howard, there's so many combinations of those 3. Maybe Bubba and Heather are in on it, but Hulk isn't.
Right.
Maybe Bubba and Hulk are in on it, and Heather isn't.
But I asked you, do you think Hulk is in on it? I am telling you, I do not think so.
I agree.
Fred agrees with
I'm
me.
I agree
replaying.
with that.
Well, you
Robin
too.
says
And
no.
I'm replaying that whole interview in my head. I'm like, the sad eyes, come on.
I'm with Robin all the way.
So you say
I think you guys
It
are
was a performance.
You said Robin and I just want to go on record here.
Hulk
Robin
didn't
and
know
Gary say Hulk knows about the whole thing. He's in on
The distribution,
thing.
yes.
Okay. Fred and I say no.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I think the only person who, I can almost go on record saying, I think the only person who knew it was being taped was Bubba. For sure.
No, I think Heather knew.
I don't know. That's
They live
unclear.
in a house. She knows she has a camera in her bedroom. This wasn't the first time they taped
There may
anything.
be a camera there, but she didn't know it was on.
All right, since the
Look,
only other
it
person,
sounded to me like Bubba came in to turn on the camera.
the only other person in the room is Benji. Let him. It's a 2-2 tie. Go ahead, Benji.
Tiebreaker.
Yes or no?
Tiebreaker.
Is Hulk Hogan in on it?
I have no idea, but
No,
I was
I'm not looking for
Everybody has no
This made
idea.
me suspicious yesterday.
What?
This is one thing that made me suspicious.
Go ahead.
He kept seeming to want to bring up how much Heather wanted him in a ungentlemanly kind of way.
Right.
Again,
And,
I think
and that seems suspicious to me.
No, I think
at
that was-
least that he had that he wanted to
I don't get your point.
that there might have been some reason to try to get Heather.
Why can't I get a yes or no answer
No,
from
that-
him, Gary?
He's
I don't know.
wacky. He's Benji.
Wacky. He's
I
Benji.
think that Heather always wanted him. I think there may have been a sex thing orchestrated, but I don't think one has to.
All right, Benji, forget it. I'm going to turn off your mic. Hey, Jason, come in here and give me
get
your
somebody
opinion.
with a brain.
Benji can't be the tiebreaker because I have no fucking idea what he's talking about.
By the way,
really
I think
wa- was
I think
trying, man.
Hulk has too much to lose. Isn't this wrestling organization his? And I don't think
Yeah.
it makes him look good.
Jason, was Hulk Hogan in on it or not?
I believe he was, yes.
You do. So that's the
I don't.
tiebreaker.
I didn't believe him yesterday.
You did not.
No. In fact, the more he talked, the less I believed him.
See, that's what I was looking for from Benji. Do you understand what Benji was saying?
No, I don't, but I usually don't. And also, just to clarify, the
You're
Heather
used to
point,
it.
according to TMZ, this is according to TMZ, to the guy who watched the whole tape.
Right.
Heather, Bubba says to Heather at the end, this tape could make us a fortune. So it sounded like she knew that there was a tape in the room.
Right.
Or
Right.
might have at that point.
But she knew she was being taped.
But
is
that
what we're
doesn't
saying.
mean that Hulk knew.
And
But
also-
I'm asking, did Hulk know? You're saying he did know. You're saying he's in on the distribution of this thing. And Robin and Gary are saying yes as well. Benji's not saying anything, and Fred and I are saying no.
Well, in Benji's defense,
It's an opinion.
It's an opinion. It's not. We don't know anything.
wait a
It's
minute. In
still wrong.
Benji's defense,
Benji.
let me say this. If he's going on the side that Hulk was drawn into this by Bubba and Heather, Hulk's defense is that every time they worked on him for 2 years to have sex with her. And she was always up for it and she was always into it.
Right.
So what he's basically saying is that Hulk was lured in and maybe Heather and Bubba are responsible.
Dominic, what are you saying?
All right, number one is definitely Heather, but I'll tell you why it's definitely not Hulk. He loses any chances to ever do McDonald's again, Burger King.
That's what I think.
Exactly.
This would kill him to go into anything good. This tape would cost him $10 to $20 million over the next 3-4 years. It finishes him.
That's true.
McDonald's would never.
He has a family image, believe it or not. Those wrestling guys are for children.
They don't want to take their kids to a wrestling match if this is the guy that's like, doing sex tapes.
Right.
Absolutely not. And I have a sex tape, that's coming out, just so you know.
It's actually a weight loss tape. You watch him have sex and then you lose weight.
You throw up.
You throw up. All right, Dominic, thank you.
But everyone wish me good luck. I'm having surgery next Tuesday to cut the rest of the fat off. That's the actors doing it.
All right, good.
20 pounds more. Goodbye.
Good, congratulations.
So what did Dominic say?
I don't know. Benji and Dominic should have a party. No, he's saying that
Hulk wasn't in on it.
He's saying Hulk wasn't in on it.
Hey, a San Francisco paper has said, I don't know if they, how papers are now, that he has filed papers at a Clearwater Police Department.
Oh, he has. Okay.
That's what they reported, but they might just be reporting that because he said he's going to do it.
You talk about, Benji's right. These reporters get shit wrong.
Can we have John Lieberman follow this up?
Yeah, where is that attack
We finally
dog?
have a legitimate news story for him to cover besides bathroom shit.
Right. Well, that's
He's
important.
swabbing the DNA off
It's important.
the wall.
It's important news. Are you on this story at all?
Yeah, I am. In fact, I got an email last night from a source that has all sorts of... Excuse me.
That's the other shoe dropping.
Well, exactly. I was rushing in. That was my microphone dropping. I got an email last night from a source very inside this who has a lot of information that I'm trying to vet right now.
Wow.
But
what?
part
you
of
don't
it,
even want to say it?
No, I can't yet, just because I haven't vetted it yet. I don't feel comfortable. But this person knows a lot based on what they emailed me last night. They have intimate details that only somebody in the know would know. So,
is it Bubba's son?
We're looking into it.
Who is it?
No, it's no. Well, first of all, I'm not going to give it up, but no, it's not Bubba's son. But yeah, so we are following it, the whole thing, because something just doesn't add up.
Can you find out if if he's reported a crime has been committed against him?
Right. Well, so there's two issues. There's the civil issue of him being damaged or whatever, and then there's the criminal invasion of privacy issue, which is the one that we're interested in.
He said on the show that he has not filed that yet because
he said he was going to.
And here's how it would have to happen.
Why wouldn't he have gone to?
Because he feels if Bubba was involved, he wanted to talk to him first because as angry as he'd be with Bubba, he does not want to file.
But he had already talked to Bubba.
Bubba's going to go to jail.
He had already talked to Bubba. Bubba assured him that he didn't release this tape.
Right. And I mean, the process would be he'd have to go to the police first. The police then take it to the DA, and the DA decides whether or not to charge a crime. So that's how it would happen. Florida is a two-party consent state, which means both parties have to know that they're being recorded or filmed.
New look for you with the jeans.
Well, I'm going to the Oriole-Yankee game tonight, so I'm going right from work. So
Interesting.
I'm wearing the jeans.
I'm trying to decide if those are mom jeans.
Do they have the sand? Do they have this?
What are you talking about?
Are those pulled up
the
a little
elastic
high?
in the back?
No, they're not pulled up high.
Okay, all right.
These are fine.
I just want to see, that's all. I want to see what
Jeez,
you're up to.
Yeah,
what
that's
brand of jeans are
what
they?
I'm up to, what I'm wearing.
You ever see guys with mom jeans?
These are not mom jeans.
Like they pull them up high and
It's like they don't know how to wear jeans anymore.
What happens to women too? Like I see them in like at a shopping center, and it's like at a certain age, they all stop dressing hot and they start wearing mom jeans where like the jeans are pulled up like super high, like above
the waist
the belly
is,
button.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And they call that the last or something. Yeah, like it keeps growing and growing and growing until it's up to the bottom of your tits.
It's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, it was actually a big decision whether or not to wear jeans today, but because I knew I would get shit back there for it, I wasn't expecting in here.
Well,
yeah, there's